Okay, so after encountering the troll who was going by Mister at the um, at Kalantar's bridge, after leaving Suzail on the trail of Samura, your backstory, uh, you guys are now just a little ways past the bridge, and I think where we left off, Eartha, you'd kind of your strategic mind had wigged like, huh, maybe we should do something with the bridge, realizing it might slow down the people who are behind you, but it would also, slow you down by extension because it would probably take some manpower to do anything to this big old bridge. So yeah, you guys are on the cart. I think Eartha, you're actually driving, so if you want to slow down or anything, that's all your prerogative. So I think Samura, you were on the lookout. Eartha, you were driving, and Anya, you're chilling in the back with Jade. So does anyone have anything they want to do?
Are we still at the bridge?
Yeah, you're like 10 feet. 15
Yeah, okay.
feet
I'm gonna
away.
get out the car and I'm gonna go
Eartha, you
under
see
the.
Samura.
Yeah, I'm gonna go under the bridge and look at this thing holding up the bridge.
Okay.
And I'm gonna pull out my staff of thunder and lightning.
So Eartha, you see Samura get out of the cart. What would you like to do? You're driving away.
I'll slow down and see what he's gonna do.
Sure. So you slow the horse down to a canter. Samura. Yeah. So again, it's not like a pillar. From the side it looks like that. If you were to look at it from that, it's like a wall.
Yeah.
So it's where the two arches meet in the middle of the river. Probably about 5 foot thick, 20 foot long.
Yeah. So I want to go. So like, if this is the long wall, I want to go. So I'm aiming into the long wall. So I'm trying to aim. So I'll hit the straight 20 foot.
Make an intelligence check with advantage.
15.
What kind of damage are you trying to do? Like, is it lightning?
Yeah.
You're pretty sure lightning will not do much to this to stone.
What do I think? Can I make an intelligence check on thunder?
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, would your acid melt it?
I don't think so. But also, I got a nat 1.
Nat 1. Yeah. To be fair, I'll just tell you this as part of your. So you're unsure about thunder because that was what your check was for. But as part of your 15, the only thing that strikes you as that will do much is force damage is probably the most effective. You're not sure if other things might have some sort of effect, but even with to actually do enough damage for anything to happen, you would need to be doing a lot of damage.
And the only thing I have force is magic missiles, so that ain't gonna happen. I'll go get back on the cart.
You see Samura kind of fly up from the river and fly back into the cart.
I guess we will continue.
Cool. Yeah. So, about this time, it's a little bit past, probably about midday. We're probably looking at like 1 p.m. right now, just past high sun. So you guys are going to be arriving at Hilp, generally 2 days after you left Suzail, 48 hours. So you guys are probably arriving about the beginning of sunset, like the last hour of sunlight of the day. So what you see from a distance is a small town where you are in the southeast of Cormia, along Kalantar's Way. It's between Immersi and Suzail. So Immersi is further to the north, and you are coming from Suzail. Hilp marks the western terminus of the Way of the Manticore. So the road that goes east from Hilp is called the Way of the Manticore, and that continues east through other towns, Gladehap, Wayloon, and so on. Hilp is surrounded by rich farmland and grazing pastures, though it's most well known for its markets. It's like a market town. In addition to the local produce and grain, the market does a brisk business in wagons and barrels, so a lot of carpentry in this town as well. The town has a small fortification wall, though much of the population lies outside of this wall, along Kalantar's Way and the Way of the Manticore. So there is like a central town, a walled town, but a lot of the population live on like farmsteads and homesteads outside of the town, where they farm on their land and blah blah blah. The buildings of Hilp are tall. Generally, the ones inside the walls are tall and narrow. Most of which feature a shop or a tavern, some kind of business on the first floor, with their homes on the subsequent floors above. And most of the roofs are you kind of see this in the nice like orange sunset as you approach. The roofs are shingled in blue and green slates. The town is industrious and somewhat boring compared to the places you've been more recently, despite it being a bustling kind of center of production. You get that atmosphere as you you're approaching. For a while, maybe like the 2 hours before you arrive at Hilp, you start seeing one or two farms here or there, small farms, big farms, varying sizes. Some you see have livestock, some are just plant-based farms, and you see the occasional person here and there, the occasional farmer, the occasional field hand. And as you get closer and closer to the town, the farms start becoming more frequent. Instead of just one every few miles, you start getting two here and there, 3, 4, quite closely bunched together. But Hilp is not a big town, not including the farmsteads around it, but the interior, the walled town has a population of about 300 to 400, so it's not a huge town, and a lot of that is probably families, so it's not a particularly big town. But yeah, so as you guys are arriving at the golden hour, right on sunset, the sky is getting kind of this dark orange, and the clouds are kind of it's been a mostly cloudless day, a few clouds here and there, but the clouds are kind of beginning to creep back in as night falls, and you can start to see the moon and the Tears of Selûne reappearing for the night. You guys are arriving in Hilp. You can see a lot of the market activity. There is no market so much. People just kind of set up stalls on the side of the streets. People from the farmsteads out of town, blah blah blah. They kind of just set up general stuff on the side of the streets. And yeah, you can see most of them are packing up. You only catch one that seems to be still pretty busy, even at this late hour. Most of them are kind of just packing up, ready to leave for the night, go back to wherever they've traveled in from. And yeah, so what would you guys like to do? You're in this new setting. So if you are driving the carriage, you don't see any stables on the outside of town. You've been through small towns before. You kind of have to stable your horses wherever you're at. There's not really like a dedicated stable for everyone in the settlement, like there are in most cities. So yeah, so Eartha, you're leading the wagon. So I'll leave it up to you for the most part. But Anya and Samara, if you want to jump in and shout anything out, feel free to. What would you guys like to do?
I think I'll probably be like heading forwards, looking for somewhere to stay rather than sleep in the back of a wagon again. So like looking for some form of tavern or inn in hopes that they have like a room free or something.
Fair enough. So right now it's probably about 5:30, 6 o'clock. So it's not super late, but you're burning daylight.
Can I keep an eye out for antique shops as well?
Antique shop, sure. But if you've kind of got like the map kind of in one hand as you're heading in, and you kind of take it out to look at it, you would estimate, kind of based on the amount of time it's taken. The town shows. It doesn't show Suzail. It just shows the map. Sorry, the map it doesn't show Suzail. It just shows Hilp and the surrounding area. Based on your geographical knowledge, the time it's taken you to travel from Suzail to Hilp, you think it would take about 5 hours to get to the location indicated on the map. So you could probably get there before midnight, but you would be traveling through the night and kind of, pushing your exhaustion a little bit. So yeah, like if you want to look for somewhere to stay, that's also a reasonable thing to do. Was anyone going to say anything there, sir?
Is it walking 5 hours or is it cart 5 hours?
They're generally kind of quite similar, just because it's more about you can do other stuff while you're on a cart, and you can, but walking probably a little bit longer. Obviously, probably like 6 hours walking. So if you wanted to, you could like. If you were worried about going off-road with your horses and your wagon, you could probably find somewhere to leave them here and head off on foot if you wanted to. It wouldn't be like the end of the world. Like it wouldn't take you way longer or anything like that. So Samurai, you said you wanted to look out for some kind of antique shop. So do you want to make a perception check?
Let's go for it. Oh, and this isn't a difficult one because Jackson's back in the game. That's 8.
8. You're actually having quite a tough time because you're kind of glancing and you're noticing you're like, oh, that's a tavern, and oh, that's a shop. It's closed, but that's a shop. And none of these places have like names like painted on anywhere, no signs or anything. This is like a small town where like you're like, oh, do you want to go to Jim's? And then they know where that is. They go, like, these things don't have names. They are just, that is a tavern, that is a shop, and the people of this town know what is sold there. So they kind of go where is needed. But yeah, so you're kind of having a tough, you see some things that like maybe during the day, that like some of the stuff you can see in the window looks kind of old, might kind of have, but like there's kind of blinds behind the general window that have been closed. So it's difficult to tell for sure. But there's maybe like 1 or 2 places you're like, maybe during the day that could be something, but you're not entirely sure. Irtha, you said you were looking for an inn or a tavern. Make a perception check.
Oh, that's a 19 plus whatever, so...
19. You see
plus...
a few...
So 38.
38, very good.
Yes.
You spend, again, Hilp is not big. Hilp is, so it's on the western terminus of a road and on a north-south road, so it's kind of like a sideward T-shaped road system. Mm-hmm. As the Kalantar's Way goes north, and I guess from your camera angle, the Way of the Manticore ends in the center of Hilp, hitting Kalantar's Way. So there's only like 3 roads, really, that the town is built around. Or like 2, rather. So you feel pretty confident after about 10 minutes of looking around, 15 minutes. You've seen 1 or 2 taverns, pretty quiet, maybe 1 bordering on busy. You haven't seen a single inn. Or nothing that strikes you as an inn. Everything above the ground level looks quite residential.
Looks like we're maybe sleeping in the cart then.
Is anybody on the streets? Or are they kind of
kind of most people on the streets right now are people packing up their market stalls, their kind of general wares. There's a few wagons around because people are kind of from like, an hour or 2 outside of Hilp, they're putting their stuff away to go back to their houses. Again, the only kind of gathering of people outside at the minute, like I said, you passed 1 tavern that's kind of not busy, but like bordering on busy, getting busy as the night's getting darker. The only kind of gathering of people outside is there is a 1 market stall that people still seem to be visiting, even though it's kind of getting late. But that's it.
I'll say to these 2, I'm curious, and I'm just gonna like jump off and kind of, catch myself from my wings and go towards that market stall. Yeah.
So you see, like, and again, it's not particularly a big gathering. There are like 3 people at this stall, and one of them is the vendor. But you can see that they're kind of like the 2 people that have stopped seem to be traveling together, but they have a wagon of their own. They seem to be passing through Hilp, and they've stopped at this stall, whereas all the others have packed up. Make a perception check. sound-based, hearing-based.
Oh, that's 17.
17. So you kind of catch the gist of what this guy is selling as you kind of like gently land on the ground and begin kind of walking up behind these guys. He's selling some kind of you're not even sure, based on like the words you hear them talking about, it kind of sounds like fish bait. And you kind of catch a glimpse of what he is. It's like this this shrub, this cluster of brown kind of foliage. It looks about like fist sized, a little bit between like a fist, a curled up fist, and like a cabbage head. Like this brown shrub, almost like a small tumbleweed. Yeah, but you notice like you don't know if the people buying this stuff are fishermen because they seem way too interested in whatever this is. If it's fish bait, you don't know if maybe they're fishermen or something like that. But yeah, that's kind of the gist that you catch up as you approach from behind. What would you like to do?
Excuse me, do you guys know anywhere we can, and I'll point towards the cart and horses we have, so anywhere we can like set up our horses for a night, stables of any sort and an inn to stay at?
The guy kind of selling, he kind of like, he finishes a few words that he'd been saying to these two generals, these two travelers, and he kind of says, "Well, good night, please come back whenever you are passing through again." And he kind of some coin is exchanged, and they take some of this shrub with them, and he says, "I'm sorry, my friend, Hilp does not have any inns, but you should not have any trouble. The folk here are kind enough. You should be able to find a family who are willing to offer you their spare room. In fact, I think I know someone who might have a spare room available. How many people is it for?"
It's for the 3 of us.
3 of us. Doubtful that there are 3 beds, but if you're okay roughing it a little bit, you could. I'm sure that you could stay in their spare room.
It'd be greatly appreciated, I guess. Let me just talk to my friends first.
Very good. I should get packed up for the night, I suppose.
Yeah, I'll go to tell these 2. Right, lads, what we're doing? So you're alright? You're alright sleeping in someone's fucking house, or?
Yeah, whatever. I'm chill.
Worst circumstances, so we might as well take what we can get. So.
Alright, I'll go back to the bloke and I'll go. Yes, my friends are happy to do so. Thank you again for just the offer.
No, it's fine, totally fine. Would you mind helping me pack up? And you kind of see he's got a cart, not a big one, kind of a small single horse cart. He's like, "Would you mind helping me load up my supplies?" And he kind of hands you a bag of this shrub stuff and puts a crate of it on himself. They don't live far from here. Let's say they just live at the north end of of Kalantar's Way here in Hilp. Yes, we'll go there together. He kind of like bolts up his cart to his horse. It's this dappled kind of brown and cream draft horse. And he kind of like pats the back as he's finished bolting it up, and he says, "Yes, I'll head that way out of town, and I'll knock on their door and explain your situation to them. They are the puddle ducks. They are halflings. They are quite hospitable, more so than most folk. But yes." And he kind of gently pats his horse on the rump and kind of like holds the side of the saddle and begins to walk off towards your cart with his horse. So yeah, he kind of joins up and he's like, "Okay, it's this way, friends. It's just north of here." And yeah, begins walking.
Well, what's that you're selling the brown clump stuff?
And he kind of like reaches into his. He's kind of holding it from the right. So his horse is walking on the left. He's holding the side of the saddle on the right, and then your cart is on the right of him. So he's kind of like just looking up to you in the driver's seat, and he kind of like reaches over, grabs, kind of like passes the bag open with the tips of his fingers, and grabs a lump of it out and chucks it up to you. Yeah, easy enough. It's quite light, so it almost blows a bit, but you kind of grab it. Yeah, okay. So like between fist and cabbage sized, you get the sense it probably grows to varying extents. But yeah, like this brown, small shrub, tumbleweed-like thing. This is stelk. It's a grown specially here in Hilp. It's a specialist fish bait. I do. My apologies. My name is Handabar. I grow this stelk. It's a family-run business. It's we grow specific strands to attract different aquatic life. We just finished a strand that attracts the dragon turtle. So it's quite potent things. All kinds of various fishermen. People come from all around to buy this. It's you get kraken hunters who want to look useful on their ship, so they chuck it overboard to attract krakens. You get the same for dragon turtles. You get so on and so forth for all kinds. Even for even some of the more intellectual species, the merfolk. Even they cannot resist some strands if we put the right stuff in it. But it's quite expensive. It takes some coercing to grow properly.
Do you know, like, what is it about the for example, the dragon turtle one? What is it about it which is so irresistible for them? Is it like something just they smell, taste?
Make a persuasion check.
I believe it's a 14, but I can double check. It's a 14.
It is the smell. I hope you understand. I cannot tell you exactly what the smell is. I would be cutting myself out. But yes, it is some of the outside agents we use in the growth process that change the smell of the stelk, and it is travels quite far underwater, I am told.
So you're a hunter? Well, you sell stuff to hunters.
I was a hunter. I was a hunter when I was quite young, my teens. I was a sailor when I was older, and I took over my family's business when I was... You can see this guy is quite a big, bushy, kind of handlebar mustache that goes down into like a thick, but not beard, like stubble. And he's kind of got brushed back brown hair into a long, kind of brown ponytail. And he's kind of got like this big white linen shirt on, kind of unbuttoned like right down to the belly button, and very, very hairy man. Fairly tall, not super tall, maybe like nearly 6 foot, not like super tall, but like tall enough. And he looks maybe like 45. There's the kiss of some grey in the very sides of his hair. And he's kind of like, I took over from my father when I was maybe 30, 31, something like that. But yeah, so it was when my father ran the business. It was just for different types of fish, but using some of my own expertise, we moved on to bigger and better things.
Nice. I'll pass it back, obviously, because I haven't paid.
Yeah, so he kind of catches it and stuffs it back in, and he's like, "But if you if you ever need any, and we don't have what you're looking for available, perhaps we can work on growing it together, and you get a discount if you bring it to me and you help me figure out how to make it. But you're not customers, you're friends." So, and he kind of pats his horse, he kind of bumps his horse with his elbow so it moves a bit quicker. Keep up with your cart. And yeah, so about 5 minutes of walking, he kind of is like, it's just up here, just this one to the right. And he doesn't like, he kind of, you guys kind of motion your cart off to the right to kind of pull up out of the road, but he kind of just leaves his horse in the middle of the road, and he walks up to the door and just kind of, with the back of his hand on the door. And you can see quite a lot. So this is, again, one, just as I described before, a small, like a tall, like maybe 3 or 4 stories tall, but quite narrow, sorry, not 4 stories, like 3 stories tall, but very narrow building. Kind of, it looks almost like leaning at times, but then it's got another house next to it, so it doesn't fall or anything like that. And yeah, so you can see on the bottom floor, you can see the bottom floor is not lit at the minute, but the second and third floor are, and you can kind of see some darting about from different vantages. And then a few moments later, you hear, and then someone opens the door. And before that, obviously, you can see some of the lights come on the first floor before the door opens. You see this kind of chipper male halfling, kind of a curly bob of ginger, very fiery ginger hair, and like a ginger stubble. Not much facial hair, just like a light stubble. Kind of big, bushy ginger eyebrows. Kind of bulkier than most halflings. Almost looks like a dwarf to you, just because of his body mass. And kind of wearing like a just some plain like workman's clothes. Looks like a general laborer. And yeah, so Handabar knocks on the door, and you see this figure open the door, and they share pleasantries. Oh, Handabar, and thank you. Hello, Joshua. These folk are looking for a place to rest. I know you have a spare room, so I thought you might be able to accommodate them. And this halfling kind of steps out and kind of covering his eyes, kind of looks out at you, and he's like, I think so. Any of you good cooks? And he kind of looks at Handabar. Not much of a conversation.
I have a question. My cooking experience would be military-based, wouldn't it? So it'd be very basic, quick meals, on the run kind of stuff.
It's 50-50, because I think Chicenta, like Greece, which it's based off of, quite a culinary country. A lot of distinct flavors, a lot of unique dishes. So we can either roll for it if you want, or you can make a decision whether you want it to be more military based, or whether you think maybe you have like this kind of panache for.
I will roll for it because I am curious.
Sure.
Right. What would I roll?
I'm gonna say we're gonna do a mix of things.
Right.
We're gonna do a survival and a performance check.
So both of them together?
Yeah, so just roll 2 rolls and decide which one is which.
I got 20 and then I got 21.
And which one is which?
20 is survival, 21 is performance.
Is that with the pluses?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so basically what that means is, like Jackson just said, so survival is the side of you that cooks for utility. It's small, it's got a lot of nutrients in it, blah, 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 blah. The performance is the side of you that wants it to look nice, wants it to taste really unique, taste really good. So you can kind of spin both plates. You can do both. You can cook for utility when you have to, and you feel pretty comfortable that you can spice it up when you have to as well. You can make it pretty.
But then I'll answer him and go, I can, but it depends what you want us to cook. It could be either military or it can be a little bit more fancy.
Oh, fancy! And he kind of slaps Handabar on the thigh because he's small, and Handabar kind of just wipes his hand away, and he's like, "Hey, you can stay the night. Come on, we'll pack up your horses. Get in. It's cold. And he kind of runs over and he begins kind of helping. He kind of reaches his hand out for you, Eartha, like you're a lady getting off a carriage.
I'll take his hand.
As you kind of put some of your weight on him, he buckles immediately, and he kind of, quite a small man, and he kind of just taps you on the back of the leg as you walk past, and he'll help you. Is there anything? Do you want to bring everything you have inside, or do you want to leave like your camping stuff?
I was going to say that we've got 3 chests in the back of that wagon now.
Yeah, so are you leaving that in the wagon, or are you bringing it inside?
We could leave our camping stuff in the chests.
I think we leave the chests outside, because in reality,
we're not...
how important are chests?
They're empty, so...
Yeah, exactly.
Do you want to put your camping equipment inside them, or...?
Yeah, put our camping equipment inside the
big one.
Magic chest.
We didn't bring that one, did we?
I think we did. We brought all 3.
Yeah, actually we did. Why do you want to bring why the magic one? The magic one's small.
Because no one can get inside it.
You've dispelled the magic.
Yeah, that's broken.
It's just a normal chest.
Forgot about that.
It's just
we'll just put it in the normal chest then.
So you guys just kind of all of your bulky stuff, your tents, bedrolls, you can chuck in the tents, the chests, and kind of fold into under the seats of your wagon, and you kind of leave that in an alley, a house or two down from Joshua's abode, and he's like, it'll be fine, no thieves in help, and as he's kind of like leading you guys back to the house, Handabar's like, well, I better be home for the night. It was a pleasure meeting all of you. I wish you well. Good night. And
Thank you. I'll go out to shake his hand.
Yeah, he kind of does like a little curtsy, and seeing you approach, he kind of straightens up again and shakes a hand. Very polite, very polite. You're not from Hilp. Very interesting folk. And he, unless there's anything else you want to say to him, he begins to head off out of town.
Can I turn to Anya at this point and just like kind of whisper, "This place is a fucking sociopath's town."
I'll say Joshua doesn't hear it, just because you guys are a little bit back. So Joshua's like, come on, it's freezing, better get inside. And he kind of waits for each of you, and as each of you go past, he kind of taps you on the lower leg, kind of counting you in like children.
Going in, can I ask him if it would be alright to bring Newt inside, or does he want him to wait with the horses?
Kind of looks up at, he kind of, so as Newt kind of lands on like on your arm, kind of looks at him and he's like, is he house trained? Is he alright?
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Right then. Yeah, until there's an incident, he's welcome inside. Come on, bring him in. And he kind of taps on, like a teacher kind of counting people on a school trip. He kind of taps the back of your lower legs as each of you walk past, get in the house. So you kind of see so the house is 3 stories. The bottom floor is quite open. It appears to be a small storefront. Like I'd say, a lot of the bottom floors are kind of small storefronts, and the upper floors are residential. And there is just not behind like a locked door or anything, or a closed door, just a staircase in the open that goes up to the next floor. It doesn't look like a particularly specialist shop of any kind. There's nothing. There are shelves, but there's nothing really on them. It almost looks like an out of business shop. And then so he kind of skips around after he closes the door and locks it, and kind of turns down the fire lights on this first floor. He kind of runs ahead of you and trots. He's like, if you just stay down here for a minute, I'm just gonna go tell my family that we've got guests, and we'll I'll come and get you. I'll fetch you in a minute. Just make you say, hang around, do whatever you want, back in a jiffy. And he kind of runs upstairs.
Can I make Jade stand at a window, like looking out of it, really basically against the window, and then do a false appearance so that she just looks like a suit of armor?
Sure, like they sell armor.
Yeah.
So she kind of goes right up against the window, and she looks like a mannequin on display. So Jade can chill there for the night. You kind of you hang around down here for like 5 minutes, not long, well, probably a bit less than 5 minutes, 3 or 4 minutes, as you hear some movement upstairs, and you hear some screeching of something. Again, this looks like it was probably a store space, but it hasn't been used as a store space so much recently. A few moments later, Joshua, you see all things considered, fairly similar looking individual, but with slightly bushier and slightly longer hair, coming downstairs, minus the stubble, and the hair is a kind of a strawberry blonde, a much lighter colour. This is this woman, also a halfling, kind of bounces down the steps.
Oh, hello. I'm Dolores Butterduck. I'm Joshua's wife. If you'd like to come upstairs, we have your room ready. I've been told you're helping us with the cooking for tonight.
Yeah, if that's not too much trouble.
Oh, how exciting! I've been told you're quite the chef. And she kind of grabs your arm and then begins to pull you upstairs, kind of like a demanding child. Anya, Samurai, you guys follow up
I
at an
may
easy
have
pace.
made a mistake.
Yep.
Well, so as you get to the stairs, are at an angle that they go upwards in the direction of the front door, if that makes sense, and they kind of turn a little bit. So as you come in, you kind of see as you get up to this next floor, there is a staircase that goes up again to the third floor right in front of you. And to the left and the right, there are kind of two immediate doors. So you're in kind of like a small square space. Stairs that go up right in front of you, and two rooms either way. They both kind of look like general sitting areas, just kind of like lounge areas. And as Dolores kind of pulls you into the left door, and Samurai and Anya, you follow. You can see just beyond this sitting area is like a kitchen and a dining room. Quite a tight space, not very spacious, like I said, kind of tall and narrow. But yeah, so she kind of pulls you in there, and she's like, it's not a great kitchen, it's modest enough, but we don't tend to cook that much, and we don't entertain guests too often, so we only have the 4 seats, one for me, one for Joshua, and for our kids. They're in their room, and she kind of just talk, and you're kind of like, oh yeah, you're trying to ascertain any important information, but you don't get the sense that there's a lot in there. And yeah, she kind of shows you around the kitchen. A lot of stuff. You get the sense that Dolores is the kind of person who buys things and thinks, I'm going to cook something with this, and then doesn't. And it's so some of the stuff looks like it's kind of going stale, but there's a lot of interesting ingredients that she's picked up from the market, and the passers-by through Hilp. And there's so anything you might want to cook, you can probably make a decent shot at doing here. Probably not exactly how you remember it from home, but you can, you're substituting a few things, but you think you can give anything a decent enough shake. So you see Joshua here as well, kind of sitting at the head of the table. He kind of just like one hand kind of in his ginger mop of hair, and he's kind of scribbling something on a bit in a ledger before he clamps it up, puts it under his arm, and he kind of, and he kind of moves off into the other room. He's like, I'll be back in a jiff. And he kind of moves off into the other place. She's like, oh, so what are you cooking for us, Mr. I don't know your names. I don't know your names. I'm so terribly sorry. I didn't ask your names. Oh, how rude of me. Have I been rude?
No, it's all right.
All right, good.
My name's Arthur.
Arthur, that's a lovely name. I had an aunt called Arthur. Very pretty name. What's your name, birdie fellow?
And she kind of looks at Newt and then at Samurai. She's like,
have I been rude? I'm so sorry. You're big city folk, and I'm sorry. I'm very nervous. Sorry, you're the... what's your little bird called?
Newt.
Oh, hello.
And she kind of shakes the tip of his wing, and Newt kind of scowls, does not like it at all. And she kind of retracts a hand from reaching up, and
what's your name?
It's you, Samurai.
My name's Samura, Zamira. Honestly, Birdie Man works for me if
you got
it's easier.
2 names? Oh, that's a lot of names. I'll try and remember them. You've got a very lovely coat, a very lovely bird of feathers. You got lovely colourful feathers. And you, miss, what's your name?
I'm Anya.
A very pretty name. I also had a great aunt called Anya. Very pretty names all around. I didn't have an aunt called Zamira, but a very pretty name still. So what are you cooking for us, Mr. Arthur?
I'll have to see what you have, but if it's alright, can I get this armor off to be a bit more free when I'm cooking?
Of course, I should show you to your room. Of course, right this way.
And she kind of just like, instead of grabbing your arm this time, she kind of just like pulls like your leg slightly and then lets go as she leads you guys again back to where you'd come from, this like small square, 2 doors and then the staircase going up. She leads you back into there and up the staircase. You see 3 doors. Kind of as you get to the top of the stairs, there's kind of like a rectangular landing. And like on the side as the stairs escalate, there's 2 doors, and on the opposite side of one door there's another. and you see that 2 of them are closed, but one of them has been left open. You presume one of them is their room, the other is their children, and there's a spare room, and they've left the spare room door open for you. And yeah, so she kind of pulls you over, and opens the door. A very modest room. This 3rd floor is kind of half a floor, half in like where the attic space would be, another space. So like it's not like straight walls. Like the gradient is very there's like a diagonal wall, not like that, but like that, kind of great. Yeah, almost like that, but that's straight down to the floor. Yeah. So as you guys kind of as you see this, one kind of double bed, and they've kind of they've put out some bedding on the floor. They put out 2 pieces of bedding just in case you guys want to spread out, anything like that. And you see they've put one like duvet, kind of goose feather duvet down on the ground with a pillow, with a nice like throw blanket on top of it. And they've also dragged in like a kind of like a Shaylong sofa kind of deal, and which they put a pillow and a throw on if anyone wants to. So there's a bed that could probably fit all 3 of you if you wanted, but there's in case otherwise there is the bed, the double bed, this kind of Shaylong, and this kind of duvet on the floor. Yeah, so she's like, I hope it's all right. I know it's nothing fancy. I'm very sorry Hilp doesn't have any inns. We don't really get a lot of overnight stay. People just tend to come and pass through. Maybe go to the market during the day, but usually they can get to Emersey or Suzdale, or even Wayloon sometimes by the end of the night. So it's not much, but it's comfortable, I think. And just let me know if the kids are loud. We can ask them to be quiet, but they're usually sweet enough. It should be fine. Is there anything I can get you? Oh, and feel free to get changed if you like. Oh, should I leave? Should we leave? I don't know. I've never met anyone that wears armor so much, so I don't really know. Have you got clothes on under there?
Yeah, yes I do.
Oh, lovely. Well, you can get changed now if you like. And she kind of sits up on the Shaylong, kind of her legs dangling for a bit, and she's like, "You're all so interesting, such interesting folk. Where are you from?"
Can I bite at this point and go, personally I'm from Chult, but Arthur over here, he's from Jacinta.
Oh.
And I've heard the cuisine's really good. It's I'll say this in character, but I don't know how to say it in character with like the I don't know the map that much, so I'm just gonna say it to you and you can transfer.
I understand.
Yeah, he knows how to make like really good Greek cuisine, and I know he's really into his Greek cuisine, like his like
his Uncle Arthur.
Yeah, like what are they called? Like cheese, but like made into chips and like
the medieval equivalent of halloumi fries. Okay.
Yeah, halloumi fries.
Wow,
That's why I've been giggling.
I have never heard of Chult, but it sounds lovely. It sounds hot. I think I've heard of Jacinta, but I can't be sure, to be honest. Where are you from, miss?
I'm from Waterdeep.
Oh, and I've heard of that one. I've never met anyone from there, though. I've never met anyone from any of those places, but it all sounds very interesting. That sounds lovely, mister. That sounds delicious. We've got some cheese. We can help you make your cheesy finger things. We can do that, I'm sure. Usually my kids help with the cooking, but I can help you tonight if you want professional help. But this is all very exciting. What else do you want to make, Mr. Arthur? What have you got on the menu for us?
We're gonna make a grilled chicken with Quan Greek salad.
Oh wow, he's getting Greek with it.
I definitely didn't just.
I can see his Google tab open. See him reading.
No,
that was him
about.
praying to the Red Knight.
Yep, it's easy, so it only takes 20 minutes. It serves well. I'll make it serve more. I'll increase the rations.
Yeah, sure.
I can increase the rations.
So, what are we gonna need for that, mister? Wait!
And she darts out of the room. You hear a barrel downstairs. Ding, ding, ding. Moving stuff. Moving stuff. Ding, ding, ding. Up the stairs. Back in the room. Back on the shade lawn. She's got a little notebook in her hand.
What am I going to be needing to make sure we've got, Mr. Arthur? I've got one of my neighbours is a chef, and I bet he's got anything we don't have. So just let me know what we need.
Well, if there's nothing you don't have, don't worry about it. We'll just substitute it for something else that you do have. So in that way, you don't have to go, like, buying extra stuff just for us.
Oh, you city folk are so kind. My mother always taught me city folk were awful, but you are so kind. Okay, and she kind of puts the notebook down with the little
I have a question.
quill.
Would I be a city folk if I spent a lot of time traveling?
Because
I know
you probably spent.
I spent a lot of it in there, but a lot of it I
You
also
spent a lot. You probably grew up for the most part in Luthchek, the capital city of Chicenta. But your family, Luthchek is kind of your family's politics and Luthchek's general politics don't tend to mesh. So your family probably was out of the city a fair amount, traveling around Chicenta. Again, like that check you just did for your cooking, you probably straddle the line between both worlds. You know enough about the city to get by. You know enough about the wilds to get by. You kind of straddle the line between the two.
Nice, right.
So I'll leave that up to you if you want to lean more towards one. That's totally up to you.
I think I'll leave it for now. I don't mind her calling me city folk for now. Good.
Cool. And she puts the notebook and the quill aside. So tell me what we're making. I'm sorry. What not? I know what you're making. We're making the chicken with the grilled chicken and the salad that you sent. Salad in the part. Yeah. But what do we need? So we need chicken.
I was gonna say you definitely have chicken, right? Because if you don't, we can swap it out for something else. Right. Okay.
No, we got chicken. Lots of chicken.
You got butter. Do you have butter?
Aye, we got butter.
Right. I can't say that word. Quinoa? Probably not. Yeah, that's the one.
Quinoa.
Shut up. Dyslexia, alright? It's hard enough to do.
Very funny. I don't know that we got quinoa, but I can check with my chef friend. He only lives 2 doors down. There really isn't any fuss. We don't need to supplement it if you don't want.
We don't really need that bit, but do you have a red chili? Might not be
red chili?
Might not be native to around here.
We got peppers. We don't got chilies. But I think my friend does have dried chilies. It's really not much of an ask. He owes me a bunch of favors anyway.
Right. Do you have garlic?
Garlic. Aye, we got garlic.
Right. Okay. Have you got any form of cooking oil?
Oh, aye, we got vegetable oils.
Good. Do you have any tomatoes?
Tomatoes. I'd have to check, but I believe so. I think I got some at the market a few days past. And my kids, they're hopeless with tomatoes, so if you could leave them out of the kids, if you could make them so they pick out. So I never really get to use the tomatoes, because only me and Joshua eat them, because the kids don't eat them.
Well, luckily...
You don't care.
Luckily, they're not chopped fine, they're chopped in, like, quarters, so they're quite big.
They're quite... Oh, they can pick them out. No worries, Mr. Arthur.
A red onion?
Red onion.
It could just be a normal onion.
I think we've got normal onions, but again, I can ask my friend if they got red.
Normal onion will be fine. We'll just
imagine
it's red.
You're taking off your arm as you're like remembering this recipe.
Have you got feta cheese or any just cheese really?
I don't really know the difference between one cheese and another, but we've got cheese.
Not a problem then. Cheese is fine with me. Mint leaves. It's a herb.
Mint leaves. Oh!
I'm literally just reading off this ingredients list.
I think Jara got a mint plant from the market the other week, so we could probably have one of her leaves.
Not a problem. Now this is a bit exotic, this one, and don't worry if you don't. Do you have any lemons? Just one.
Lemons, no, but there's a tavern a few doors down, and they put them in the drink sometimes. Very fancy. I could ask for one of those.
And that's all we need. I'll also give us some money to go get the lemon.
How much money?
Well, I've only got gold, so I'll give her a couple gold.
A couple?
She's like, Mr. Arthur, I don't think it's gonna cost this much.
That's for us staying as well.
Oh no, you're helping with the dinner, and you've been delightful conversation. We can't take your money, Mr. Arthur.
But that's how hospitality works. You give us a place to stay, we pay for it.
You're cooking food. You're paying for yourself, and you've been delightful to talk to, Mr. Herndon. We can't take your money. She kind of takes 2 of the coins, and she puts 2 of the gold coins like on the side of the bed, and she keeps the 1, and she's like, I'll get the change for the lemon, and I'll bring that back. And you just make yourself at home. The door on the left is mine and Joshua's. The door on the right is the kids' room. And, downstairs, you can make yourself at home on the sofas, or you can get started cooking if you want. But I'll be back in 10, 20 minutes if you want to wait for me to get back, and I'll help you chop the vegetables. But I'll be back really soon. It's fine. And she darts out the door. She's gone.
I want to turn to these 2 instantly and just go, why do they have long beds when they're so small? And then walk out, just go downstairs.
I'm just gonna stand there and kind of rub my face. How does she talk so much?
Why do they have long beds when they're so small?
For guests.
They don't make halfling beds. You just make beds.
They do. They're called kid size.
Why don't they get kid size bed?
They don't want to. They want out of bed with a dinosaur. Yeah. So, what would you guys like to? What would you guys like to do? Oh,
actually, instead of going downstairs, I need to cast Find Familiar ritually.
Oh, and get
okay.
Thingy back, don't you?
Yeah, so that's like an hour and 10 minutes, but Abba should come back as a frog.
Being cold.
Cut to now. So Jemima. I keep wanting to say Jemima because the name of the puddle ducks. So I keep wanting to say Jemima puddle duck. I meant Dolores. Dolores puddle duck, like out the door before you can say anything. Barrels down the stairs. Barrels down the other stairs. You hear the front door slam closed as she runs out to go and fetch some of the ingredients that she didn't have quite on hand. What would you guys like to do?
I want to ask who wants to go in what bed? Because I'm happy for whatever's the most uncomfortable.
I am clearly ignoring him while casting my ritual spell. As I'm focused.
Samara, do you just do that in the middle of the floor, or do you do that on the bed? Do you try and lay claim to any of them, or?
No, I just do it on the floor.
Fair enough. So Anya, do you have any preference of bed?
No, I don't mind going on the floor.
Big bed for you it isn't. I'm not
So
letting
is
the bird have it.
Will you take the big bed?
No. It's too comfortable. Because it's either that you've got the big bed, the small bed, or the chaise longue. So really, they're all decent compared to what we're expecting. But I'm planning on waking up slightly earlier to get some last.
Definitely gonna fucking slit our throats.
No, it's to finish my tool. I've only got
Masturbate.
Yes, 4 more hours of it.
Love debating among the masses.
Yes.
Debating among the masses. So, is Anya taking the bed? Did you say? Ether, are you taking the chaise longue?
Yeah,
or what was
I'll take the chaise longue.
And Samara stuck with the floor.
Is there any sort of beam or a wardrobe or anything?
I'll say there can be a suspended wooden beam for the roof, if you like.
Is there enough room for me to perch?
Not super. Not you're not oh, this is very comfortable.
You're gonna take a massive bit on us.
No.
Yeah.
No. Imagine
a big duke.
It's imagine a log, obviously sideways, and I want my belly on the log with my legs hanging down and my arms hanging down, and just sleep like that on the just. So I'm in a tree.
Because I like the image of it. Sure.
I have the pillow so it's not hurting my head against the hardwood.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, that sounds fine. So to make it more comfortable, if you can probably pull the duvet and kind of tuck it into the chaise longue so it's a bit softer to sleep on.
I'm gonna have Newt on the back of it. I'm gonna go in the bag of holding, pull out the old ripped tuxedo, lie it across the top of it, and plant him on top of that. So that way, if he does shit, it's alright. It's not on their stuff.
Sounds good. Could you make an animal handling check for Newt, please?
Yes.
Also,
16.
my fine
16.
familiar is a weasel.
A weasel. Okay.
Ooh.
With the same like the spotted yellow.
Yeah, the same like pattern, but just a weasel.
Sure. How is that? Does that take an hour and 10 minutes? Did you say?
Yes, so it's gonna take some time.
Well, also
So,
do now,
if-
cook tea.
Sure. Anya, are you chilling up here while with Samara sitting in silence doing a spell, or do you want to go down with him? Chill downstairs.
They have children. Are there children there right now, or do we not know?
The kids have a room. You can see the door is closed, but you can kind of see light coming in from underneath the doorway, and you can kind of hear some noise. You think the kids are. You think you can hear as you walk past. You kind of catch two kind of younger sounding voices. You think there are kind of two kids in that room.
I don't really want to like go bursting into some random child's room.
Make a perception check.
You don't know the kids are real. That's what I'm saying. They've claimed to have kids, but you don't know that.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. So, what did you say? Which
Perception.
perception? 14.
14. You notice all of the doors kind of have like little keyholes, like little locks. As you kind of walk, as Eartha kind of goes downstairs to go get the cooking, you kind of stand up and you kind of look at Samara, and he's still like meditating, like doing his spell, kind of just completely blocking out the world. You're kind of like, okay, what should I do? And you're kind of like looking around. You kind of walk outside, and you see an eyeball at the keyhole, and you hear, "Oh, blimey!" It's kind of someone dart away from and you kind of see shadows moving at the bottom of the door.
Okay. I'll probably knock on the door then.
Yeah.
Boots the door.
A few moments go by, and you see shadows move, and you hear some. I don't want it. The door kind of creaks open, and you see a young halfling girl. So halflings are about 3 foot, about 2.5 feet to you. So like almost the entire height of your leg. These like younger ones. This one in particular doesn't look like they're not a child. They look maybe like 13, 14, but they're kind of like just cresting above your knee. And you kind of see this girl, like her father, has curly ginger hair. And kind of so like the ginger curly hair kind of falls, but then like a very straight fringe along the front. Very big, chubby cheeks, a lot of freckles, big, bushy ginger eyebrows like her father as well. She's kind of wearing kind of a plain brown and cream dress, and you kind of just get that from the sliver. It cracks open, and she's like, "Yeah."
I'm Anya. Your name?
The door kind of closes. A few moments go by, shadows move. The door kind of opens, this time properly, kind of falling open. You can see the young girl kind of standing halfway between the door and one of the beds. You can see in this room there are two kind of single beds. And you can see sitting on one of the beds is a boy, similar to his mother, with kind of shorter blonde hair. He doesn't have curly hair really, quite straight cut, low cut, blonde hair. And yeah, too young. The boy looks younger than the girl, maybe like 7 or 8. And again, obviously quite short with them being children and halflings. But the girl kind of like lets the door fall open, and she's kind of standing halfway in between the door and the bed, and with the boy. He's like, I'm Jara. That's Dara. Did you say your name was Anya?
Yes, that's right. That's my name.
She kind of pinches the sides of her dress and does a very awkward curtsy, and she's like, "It's a very lovely name." Does it again. Dara kind of falls off the side of the bed, kind of hides behind it.
You don't need to be afraid.
Dara's just a wimp. Never met anyone from outside, never talked to anyone from outside of town. I'm brave though, so I'm not afraid. So I'm actually not afraid, but Dara is, because Dara's afraid. And you hear, like, you kind of just see, like, him poking out from behind the bedpost. And she's like, well, come on, Dara, we should go downstairs now. Mom will be back soon. And Dara kind of crawls out and kind of walks up slowly to behind Jara and just kind of like kind of hides behind her, like he was hiding behind the bedpost. And she kind of brushes him off, and he goes back immediately. And she's like, okay. And she kind of walks up to you and kind of pushes you around, and she'll walk down the stairs with you. I really like your violin. Very shiny.
Thank you. Do you want to hold it?
Would that be okay?
Yeah, of course.
You kind of hand it down to her. She kind of reaches up for it and kind of holds it. She's like,
oh wow, it's heavier than it looks. Oh, got words on it. Whoa, this is cool.
She kind of like shows it to Dara, and he just kind of like shrinks up behind. And she's like,
okay, well, it's cold.
Then she kind of puts it back up to you.
Thank you. Wow.
And then as you kind of get to the bottom of the stairs, they see Eartha in the kitchen, and they both kind of hide behind, like at the curl of the stairs, like where the wall follows. They're like,
is that one of your friends?
Yes, that's Eartha.
Oh, he looks scary. He looks tall. Whoa.
And you hear Dara's like,
oh no. Oh, he looks mean.
And Jara's like, don't be rude. And she kind of pulls him off from the side, and they'll walk in with you to the kitchen. So Eartha, you've had 2 minutes down here by yourself. I just want to offer you one thing, and I totally understand if you want to turn this down, but I just wanted to put it there to tempt you. There is an apron that says "Kiss the Cook." That's just kind of out. It's just kind of hanging on the back of a door. You could choose to wear it if you want. You could choose to leave it where it is. That's totally up to you. But there is an apron that says "Kiss the Cook." I thought I'd leave that in your hands. Would you like to wear that?
No, I think I'm going to spend the 2 minutes stood there looking at it like that, just
to really contemplate.
Yeah, like,
should I? To be honest with you,
I don't even know if I would do it at all. Like, I think Eartha would be very much like.
Yeah, he's had a lot of broken noses. Yeah, he's yeah. So as you're kind of like staring at it, you've kind of located some of the bigger things. You found the chicken. You found this, that. You haven't found everything, and so you're kind of waiting for Dolores to come running back with the other ingredients. Yeah, you see Anya with these two cowardly halfling children. You kind of just catch them out the corner of your eye as you're contemplating this apron, kind of hiding behind a wall and like looking out like Scooby-Doo to look at you, and then kind of going back. And then as Anya kind of approaches, encouraging them on, they kind of walk with her. So Anya, it's kind of like, yeah, so there's kind of like a kitchen that kind of curls up the left and north, like the left wall and the top wall of this room, and most of the room otherwise is just like not a huge, like a table that sits maybe 6 people, 2 on each side and then 1 at each end. What would you like to do? Would you like to help with the cooking, or would you like to do something else, or talk to the kids, or just kind of sit at the table? Is there anything specific you'd like to do, or are you just kind of hanging out?
Probably set the table.
Oh yeah, good call, very good call. So yeah, Anya, you kind of start looking around for the plates, knives, forks, things like that. As Anya's doing that, the little boy kind of like hops up on his chair. You take it, the one he normally sits at. But the little girl kind of walks up to, like, as you're contemplating this apron, she kind of walks up like right to your side, Eartha. Like, so like her front is almost like touching your leg, and she's like looking up at you, and she's like,
you're really tall.
I'm not as tall as you'd think. I've seen people taller than me before.
You see people taller than you?
Oh yes. Just on the way here, there was a. Just on the way here, there was a 12-foot man. She doesn't know. She doesn't know about this, but I'm talking about the troll.
Sure.
What? That's so crazy. How do people even get that tall?
Well, that's what they eat. Green beans, sweet corn.
Maybe I should
say tomatoes.
Tomatoes are quite good at helping you grow as well.
Tomatoes make you tall?
Every vegetable does.
She kind of peels back, and you kind of see her like she whispers in Dara's ear. She's like, I was like, so yeah, you see them whispering to one another.
He's so tall. He's sure. Yeah, he's getting even taller. I get tall.
And they kind of like shake hands, and then she kind of approaches you again, getting uncomfortably close, like pressing up against your leg and looking up at you.
You look really scary. You look mean. Are you mean?
Only the bad people.
That's the right answer. See, Dara, stop being so scary. You only mean to bad people. We're mean to bad people. My name's Jara.
Nice to meet you, Jara. My name's Eartha.
Eartha. Oh, I have a great aunt called Eartha, I think. That's really cool. That's Dara. He's my brother, but he's a wimp. I'm not scared though. I'm not a scaredy cat like Dara.
Fair. Well,
good answer.
I'm generally stumped. I don't know what to say.
Okay, well, I think me and Dara are gonna go play, so, let us know if you need any help with anything, but we're not very good at it, so it'd probably be better for you if you just don't ask.
I'm
but
gonna
that's cool.
I'm gonna go down on one knee and go, well, when you get the chance, ask Anya to play the violin. She's very good at it.
She can play it too?
Oh, cool. She just carry it around to carry it around.
I would. If I had it, I would just carry it around. I would hit people with it. It's really cold and hard.
Oh, she's from a special college that, like, deal with, like, music. She has to write her own song.
Write her own song?
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know other people's songs. I think I can only remember, like, half of the birthday songs sometimes. So, that's so cool. Dara!
Out of game. Is the birthday song the exact same in this game as... Nah, that's alright then. Just making sure.
Dara, come on! We gotta go!
And they kind of, both of them look at you.
Gotta go do the thing!
And then Dara kind of jumps out from the chair to behind Jara. They run upstairs.
Oh, I probably should have warned them about the bird.
So yeah, Eartha, would you like to... you reckon you're about 10 minutes out from Dolores coming back. Would you like to start the cooking, get things going, or are you waiting for her?
I think I'll probably just, like, get the stuff ready. Get my knives and everything sharp and ready. Get the right stuff out. Make sure I've got everything, like the pans, the dishes, that kind of a thing.
Nice. So yeah, so Anya, you finish laying out the table all nice. You get plates, the knives, the forks, the soup spoon, just in case, because you never know. And you kind of lay really nice. You even find some kind of napkins. They don't look like they've been used, they don't look like a kind of like a half packet of napkins that's been pushed to the bottom of the drawer. You kind of pull those out and you kind of leave them out over each person's thing. Yeah, so you guys do that. After a while, Dolores comes and runs back up the stairs with a small haversack, which she's like,
oh wow, the table looks great, Miss Anya. That looks really splendid. You did a really stand-up job with the table. We never usually do the table because it just gets dirty anyway, so sometimes we just eat with our hands, even when you shouldn't, just as the forks are going to get dirty and then you're going to have to wash them anyway, so it doesn't really matter, but this is lovely.
And she kind of just chucks the haversack at you, Eartha, and catch it. Got some chilies in it, some red onions, 2 whole lemons, and kind of in like a separate little pouch you find 8 silver from the leftovers,
I'm just gonna look around, see if she's watching, and sneak that in like the cutlery drawer and just kind of close it.
Make a sleight of hand check.
Oh shit. 18. It's just a straight roll. I don't have any dexterity.
Well, she got 13, so she doesn't notice. How kind.
I mean, let's be honest,
yeah, so
we're rolling in it at the moment. We don't need
it. You don't need that shit. Silver's for peasants. So you tuck that in, and you get back to the cooking. So did you say the general preparation take like 20 or 30 minutes?
No, the full thing takes... The full thing takes 20 minutes. Ready in 20 minutes, it says.
Ready in 20 minutes. Okay.
Oh, yes.
So, like just the general preparation, we're looking at probably about, we'll say just in general, just so Samurai can finish up a spell, because you're cooking extra portions and maybe cools and, we'll say it takes an hour to prepare and cook everything. Because, you have to take some stuff off to do other stuff, it's like a professional kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
So, about an hour later, Jemima, Anya, do you want to help with the cooking, or do you just kind of want to engage with the conversation as Dolores and Eartha kind of prepare the meal?
Yeah, I'll just engage in conversation.
Yeah, so Anya kind of pulls up a chair from the dining table and just kind of sitting at the table, kind of swiveled on it, talking to you guys as you cook. Eartha, is there anything specific you want to ask Dolores, anything specific like that, or do you want to just cook to fast forward to when the meal's done?
I was going to try and drop Anya in it again, but I'm not going to. The only reason I'm doing it is because Samurai dropped me in it for being an incredible cook. So I'm dropping Anya in it for being an incredible singer. Songwriter.
This works well, because Anya won't drop me in it.
I know.
Imagine being kind. As this is all finished, Dolores runs up to this small brass bell with a kind of what's kind of like groin level for you guys because it's low down for halflings. And she kind of reaches the hand and ding, ding, rings through the house to let everyone know dinner's ready. And Samurai, as you're kind of finishing the spell, you hear this. You can assume that means dinner's ready. And as you kind of take your feet, as you kind of like stand up, kind of stretch out, and this yellow weasel with kind of brighter yellow dappled spots kind of runs up your leg and onto your shoulder. You see very clearly, but not to them, hiding behind the chaise longue, you see two halfling children just kind of watching you.
Can I run? Not run. Can I get up? I just run, that's it. Can I walk to the door of the bedroom and shut it behind me when I go out and then, as if, like, the same way Jade stood, like, against the glass, just stand against the door, waiting for them to open it.
Okay.
With the weasel on the floor between my legs.
Okay. A few moments go by. A minute goes by. You can hear them moving around in there. You hear. Then you see an eyeball just kind of appear at the lock. Oh, bugger! Kind of bolt away again. He's right there, Dara! He's right there! God, this one's scarier than the other one. He's so weird looking.
I'll open the door and stay there. Like, stay standing and just looking. And I go, are you gonna come out from hiding?
What? You can see the door kind of peek open and then open fully. And again, Jara with Dara kind of clinging behind. She kind of standing up like, we didn't mean to snoop, we were just curious. You're very strange looking. Not in a bad way, just in a fun way.
I'll go down on like one knee and I'll say, how old are you? To the older one.
I'm 12, but I'm 13, like next 10 days, so it's basically 13.
Do I, just out of game quickly, does Samurai know about the tomato thing? I do, don't I? I was in the room.
Yeah, you were in the room, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Well, I'm only 3 years old. I'm turning 4. No.
I think you might be 4.
I'm only 4 years old. I'm turning 5 in a couple months' time.
You're 4?
Yeah.
But you're so tall and weird.
Well, I can't talk on the weird bit, but the only reason I'm
Like
so
weird in
tall
a
is
good way.
the only reason I'm so tall is because I eat all my vegetables, my tomatoes, everything.
You see, kind of like a grimace falls over her face, and she kind of like falls down.
Is that why you're a bird, or is that different?
That's completely different. Tomatoes have nothing to do with me being a bird. It's just my height. They help.
Were you a normal bird before when you ate a tomato?
No, tomatoes have nothing to do with it.
Okay.
I presume this is probably a candlelit house.
Yeah,
Not electric.
Yeah.
Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. I'm actually a wizard. I can show you a few things if you want.
2 wizard 2.
And she kind of like leans in and she's like,
The other 2 are nice, but you're pretty cool. Actually, no. She had a glass violin. That's cooler than you, but you're like second.
Okay, and I'll
The other one was eyeing up mommy's kitchen, kiss the cook thing, and that's kind of weird.
I'll like the nearest candle. I'll go like, hey, look at that candle. Look, I'll show you something. That flame's gonna see what I'm gonna do.
Nuh-uh. Flame's not gonna do nothing. Flames be flames.
I want to see what I can do.
Master wizard.
Hey! There's like 7 things you can do with this spell.
Your fingers are like boop dog and it's
I'm gonna cause. Look at that fire! It's gonna turn into you, and it's gonna take the shape of. It's a vague form of a creature, so it's vague, but it's gonna turn into a halfling, the shape of the flame, or just a small guy.
Oh, that's so awesome! How do you do that?
It's well, magic. Who knows? Maybe even my tomatoes granted me these powers.
Tomatoes made you tall and magic? Why did Mom never talk about the tomatoes? Mom sucks!
And it like grabs Tara's hand and then someone does that. And you and Abba can follow. Do you close the door again or do you just leave it open?
I'll get rid of the effect so it doesn't freak anybody else out, and then I'll close the door and I'll walk downstairs.
Go. Yeah.
When I get downstairs to the kitchen, well, not like in the kitchen, but I get downstairs and like I presume the main room can kind of see into the kitchen a little bit. I'll kind of shift through. Arthur, you got them tomatoes ready?
Yeah.
That's it. It's just. I'll just look at I'll shoot a glance.
He's got them ready. We gotta ask if we can have extra tomatoes, because then we'll get tall and weird.
Hey, you see, there's only 6 chairs at the table, so Dolores and. Are you sure?
Yeah.
I'll perch. I'll just perch on a beam.
Joshua has returned from whatever he'd been doing, and he's like, "No, it's alright. The kids can sit at the sofas if you want to have a seat. It's alright."
No, I'm quite happy to stand.
No worries there. Come on. And they kind of hunker up on the dining room chairs, and so Eartha, because you had help from Dolores and delightful conversation from Anya, I will say you have to make, and because of what we've established, you also have advantage. So I'm going to say Dolores' help is going to give you +5 to this check, and you have advantage. Make a. So you wanted this to be. Did you want this to be form functional, or did you want this to be pretty and tasty?
I want it to be like. I think they were expecting quite a bit, so I want it to be form functional, but a bit more on the tasty, pretty side.
Sure. So make a performance check with a +5 with advantage.
Go
20.
I want to send you a picture because
Please. I love that this is the only times anyone gets a natural 20. It's when they're cooking never when they're fighting a dragon. It's always when they're making salad.
It was the first roll. There you go. But yeah, natural 20. So that's performance, which is...
See if have you rolled the second one?
Do you want me to roll the second one?
See if you get double natural 20.
No, I got 13.
Still pretty excellent.
Yeah, so that's a plus 5 plus 2. So that's plus 7, so 27.
27?
Man's a chef.
I'm feeling a new career. Ignore adventuring.
You put the plates down at each thing. So you put one at each head of the table, one for Dolores, one for Joshua. You put 2 at the sides for Jara and Dara, and you put 2 at the other side for Anya and so Samurai and Eartha. There is only one of you needs to stand. Samurai, you sitting, since Eartha's like the chef. He's like standing over everyone.
I'll insist he has a seat, and I presume there's like if there's a beam, I'll perch on the beam. And if there's not a beam, I'll just stand.
No, yeah, there's not in this room, just because it's not on like the upper floor. But yeah, so you can kind of like one of the sofas. There's not so much like a wall in between the living space and the kitchen. It's just kind of like the floor changes from like carpet to wooden planks, which kind of like signals the divide. So you kind of just lean against the back of one of the sofas. So Eartha, do you want to describe to us? Describe this food, like what it looks like to us?
It's basically
just... a picture. Yeah.
No, I don't have a picture, unfortunately. It's basically just like a salad kind of dish with like grilled chicken on top. Basically, it's like with the chili, it's slightly spicy, but not too spicy, because the chicken's mixed within a nice. Well, how do I describe it? You melt butter into like a pan. You add like your seasonings, so like your garlics, your chilies, and then you serenade your chicken in that, and then make a salad on the side, and then just mix it all up after.
Very good.
So it's just delicious. A salad more than anything.
And as you put them all down and everyone takes a seat, and Samurai, you lean against them, you all dig in at the same time, and it does taste very excellent. It tastes based on the ingredients that are in there and your own personal feelings towards individual. Like if there's this you like and this you don't like, or blah blah. This is as good as it could possibly taste in your mouth based on what is in there. It's a very delicious meal. And Anya and Eartha, the amount of times you guys have been eating like leather scraps on the side of a road, you're kind of like, where the fuck's this guy been when we've been living on dirt and shit in the middle of skeleton fields? Where's this asshole been? And you can choose to vocalize that or not, or you can just enjoy the meal. Joshua raves Dolores like, this is excellent, Mr. Eartha. You should be a chef. You should be one of those celebrity chefs. You should be in the books and everything. You should write your own cookbook. You ever thought about writing your own cookbook? And she just rambles. And the kids go straight for the tomatoes. They don't even go for that chicken first. Chicken looks delicious, but they go straight for those tomatoes. They even not you guys. Joshua and Dolores are going to make perception checks. Anya, Samara, and Eartha, could you all make a perception check? 30.
Is it with my eyes?
Yes.
Oh, that's amazing. 8.
8. 11. Okay, Eartha, you're the only one that notices. Anya and Samara, you are too busy enjoying the melody of flavors and aromas this meal is bringing to you. But Eartha, you notice Dara and Jara synchronized movement when their parents are looking at the table and grab them. And like kind of bet any leftover before they turn back. They kind of push under some chicken so they don't catch it. And yeah, very lovely meal. At one point, Jara kind of like halfway through the meal, she's like, "So do you guys have like magic items?"
A few.
What do you have?
Well, we have this bird. He's very magical.
He's a magic item?
No, well...
depends who you ask.
Yeah, it's fair. I have a magic sword.
A magic sword?
Yes.
What does it do?
Can I point my finger at Eartha behind my back and cast?
Don't say message. You have to say something out loud.
Oh, you have to whisper. I'm gonna not.
What?
It can.
You had a cool.
You had a cool what?
Your bag looked pretty cool.
Oh, it holds a lot of things. A lot more than what.
How many things?
Well, we haven't filled it yet.
Whoa.
But if you want to know specifics, it can hold.
No.
It can hold up to a volume of 64 cubic feet. That's a lot.
I don't know how much that is, but that sounds cool.
It's a lot.
Eartha, make an insight check.
They've been in the bag. 21.
21. Yeah, they have some sort of interest in the bag, or at least Jara does.
Tell you what, how about I go get it and I'll show you some of the stuff we've got hidden away now.
You don't have to, but that would be cool. But like, we don't care. Whatever.
Nah, I'll go get it.
You don't have any like bodies in there.
Let me double check.
We don't have any
I'm pretty
bodies.
sure we don't.
The only thing we ever put in there is jade.
No, we did put a body in once. It's crossed out though, but we have had a few bodies.
Okay.
A few ears. No, I'll go get it.
Alice had a list written, so his character should remember what's in that bag.
Oh, I know what's in the bag.
So yeah, you run upstairs, and did you ever put the Kiss the Chef? If it was off the table?
I never put that on.
Okay. You run upstairs. You get the bag of holding, slouch it over your shoulder, bring it down, and you put it out on the table. What would you like to show? Or are you just letting them look inside, or are you showing them anything?
Do you actually see anything when you look inside?
Oh yeah, it's like a huge space. Yeah.
I was
like right. Looking inside the TARDIS.
I was like, okay, I'm gonna look at them first and go. What do you reckon can be pulled out of this? And I'll pull out something small first. So I'll pull out a small vial of red liquid. I'm not gonna tell them what it is. I'm just gonna pull like a small vial and be like, normal size for this bag, right? I'm gonna put that back in.
Oh, he's got food coloring, Nora.
And then I'm gonna put the bag down slightly so it's like on the floor and pull out a spear. No, the trident's on my back, buddy. I'll pull out like a spear.
In there.
We'll come have a look. And I'm gonna like entice him to come over and have a look at everything in there, making sure there definitely isn't a body.
Dara kind of comes out of his shell a bit and does kind of run up, and Jara kind of follows him, and they kind of pull it, like, you know when you're helping your mum with a bin bag and you have to like hold it open, they kind of like pull it either side and they kind of look in and they're like, wow, you know, oh, what's that? And they kind of like go, what's that? Whoa, and like Dara is kind of leading in too much, and she's like, careful, you fall, don't be stupid. They're looking in, like, whoa, this is really cool.
I know, right?
Can people go in there? Can you live in there?
You can't live in there. You can go in there, but you'll have to hold your breath, is the only problem. I don't advise going in there. I'm going to like kind of tie up the bag so that they don't just decide to jump in at the words, you can go in there.
That makes sense. Okay. Thanks, Mr. Arthur.
And they kind of run back to the table.
Just
is there anything else you'd like to talk to anyone about over dinner, or would you guys just like to kind of, you know, chit chat and then?
Can I just say, like, just as they're like, thanks, Mr. Earth, can I say, so if you two seem quite an interest in it, did you have a look in before?
I know what you're talking about. Bags aren't interesting. That's kind of lame. No. I didn't see the bag. I mean, I saw the bag when we saw it from the keyhole, but I didn't look inside it. I didn't know it was magic. I just thought.
Can I get an insight check?
So, yeah.
Okay, it's actually alright, cool, because if I'm not going to bloody ask it, so I'm going to have to.
Well, no, because I didn't know they were looking through the bag.
14.
You know, before, when you were trying to destroy the bridge,
Yeah.
and I told you, oh, well, lightning damage won't do that. And you were like, oh, well, that spoils my plan. The face she made when Eartha said you can't survive in the bag for too long, she had that expression of like, oh, that spoils my plan.
Oh, she was going to try to come with us.
Okay. Then I'll then say like, are you wanting to be an adventurer when you grow up or something, or what's the plan for you two younglings?
I don't know, maybe. Dara doesn't have any plans. Dara's a stupid kid, but I'm pretty smart. I could be an adventurer. Sometimes I help Mr. Handlebar at the stealth farm, and he tells me his stories about when he was a sailor, and he wasn't very good at it, and I think I could be better. I think maybe I could be a sailor, or a pirate, or a privateer, maybe. But I don't know.
I wouldn't be a pirate.
Pirates are cool. Pirates are really cool.
Yeah, but pirates are bad people, so...
Yeah, but
morals
maybe like
first.
I'd be like a good pirate. I'd be like a good pirate who like helps people. Like, yeah.
You have the answer is no.
Yeah.
No hard plans.
If I've finished my food, I'll say like I'll thank Miss Puddleduck for the for getting the stuff and helping prepare the meal. I won't thank her, and then I'll excuse myself and go upstairs.
You know, I've just had a thought. Is this technically cannibalism on Samara's behalf?
No.
Jury's still out.
Because he's eating a different type of bird. So
He's only half chicken.
yeah, so
it's only quarter cannibalism.
It's like the same as meat in a halfling, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like you eating a halfling who got turned into a fish
Yeah,
through magic.
Yeah,
Because he's not a bird; he shares avian qualities, and a chicken is also a different kind of bird. Then, if anything, he shares aspects with kind of parrot and maybe eagle, but not. So it's kind of like it's. If you think about it too much, you give yourself a headache. But yeah, it's confusing.
Well, if we're all finished, I'm gonna say, and to end a lovely evening, I'm gonna look straight at Anya and go, we should hear a song.
And then Jara kind of picks up, and she's like, "Mom, Anya knows the rest of the birthday song. Like, she's gonna sing the birthday song for. It's my birthday next 10 day. I'm gonna be 13, but I'm like, because next 10 day, I'm basically already 13. Can you sing me the birthday song? You don't actually have to do it, by the way, but you can do it.
Because I have seen
it. Anya, make a. Would you like to?
Yeah, why not? Let's make the kids.
You're a bard. This is what
advantage.
You do.
I'll be looking through the eyes of my. I'll be looking through the eyes of my weasel.
Okay. So, sitting like on like the edge of a chair, you see this weasel like mouth ajar, eyes wide open, milky white, just like staring like forward, and Samara kind of looks through its eyes.
I want to go behind the parents so they can't see me, and make sure the kids can't see me either. Look straight at the weasel, just go. Just
like a nanny cam. Anya, what did you get?
19.
19. Yeah, you do a beautiful rendition of Happy Birthday, and they love it. You throw in Jara's name. She loves it. She goes wild for it. This has been the best week, 10 days before my birthday ever, and I'm gonna get tall and weird because we ate all the tomatoes. This is awesome! And her and Dara kind of jump up, and as Jara's running past Anya, Jara gives you like a quick hug on the leg and then runs up the stairs with Dara kind of following behind. As Dara gets to the bottom of the stairs, he kind of runs up the stairs. So if and Anya, as you two are the last down there, Joshua's like, well, you better go and get some sleep. Gonna be up early tomorrow, but it's been a pleasure having you. If I don't see you in the morning, feel free to stop by whenever and cook us more of your delightful food, Mr. Seprek. Good night. And he kind of walks off.
How does he know that?
Dolores. you said you introduced yourself as Eartha separate. That's
I
it.
didn't say separate. I just said Eartha.
No, he said
Then he
it.
says Mr. Eartha. I'm already playing. I'm already
sorry.
planning a whole goddamn world. I can't keep track of you.
Sorry,
Sunshine.
I thought this was like some shady shit. Like you'd been speaking to someone.
So on edge.
I'll see you tonight, Mr. Eartha. Yeah, sure. Sharp like a knife. Yeah.
Not to sound like a broken record, but just what Joshua said. It's been real delightful having you. You're both, and your tall, weird friend are just delightful. Feel free to stop by whenever you're here. Oh, Mr. Eartha, I got you something. She kind of looks around and she kind of goes into her she's got like a tote bag that's hanging off the back of the chair. She pulls it out. You see it's been opened because she's given you one before. It's a glass, like an artisanal glass jar with like a nice cover over it. These are Maztecan chili peppers. My friend told me they're quite rare, but he said for the silver piece you could have the whole thing. So here you go. These are for you. We can't do anything with them, but these would be great for your recipes. They're from far away.
Are you sure?
Of course. This is a thank you for tonight. You've been delightful conversation. You've been lovely with the kids, and you've made us a lovely, lovely meal.
Oh yeah, just so you know, I may have told your kids that they'll grow big and strong if they eat tomatoes.
I lie to them all the time. That's great. Honestly, that's really helpful because they don't believe our lies anymore.
Yeah, I don't know where the weird bit came from though.
I imagine it's your weird friend, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Well, and she kind of presses the peppers into your chest.
Please.
Then I'll put them straight in the bag of holding, where it's technically an airtight seal. Therefore, they won't go off.
Sure. Yeah, sure. So you drop them in. So they're from Mazteca, which is another continent. It's kind of this world's equivalent of Mexico, Central America. So yeah, very far away.
Right. Well, I'm gonna do some housework just before I nod off to sleep. So I'll catch you in the morning before you head off.
Do you want any help with the dishes?
Oh no, you cooked. I'll do the dishes.
Are you sure?
Positively. Usually I'm doing all of it. You've already taken a load off me. It's all right.
All right, then I will head upstairs.
Night, Mr. Eartha. Night, Miss Anya.
And she kind of runs up. And you kind of see as she pulls out a stool in front of the sink, which she stands up on, starts scrubbing the dishes, and she ferries them over. So you guys head up to bed. So, Samurai?
Before they get there, since I've had all this time, I want to do control flames. So, I'm going to half the area of bright light and dim light on the candle, which is in our room, because I presume it's just a candle. And I'm going to also change its colour to a deep blue, matching Averrundax. Then, be up on my beam, which presumably is quite far, it's a decent point where
10 feet up. Yeah,
it'll be dim light, and use my dark embrace to go invisible.
Okay, yeah. The shadows kind of curl around you as you disappear from sight. Anything else?
That's it.
Okay. So was it the light in the room is blue?
Yes, and half its visibility.
So Eartha and Anya, as you guys kind of open the door, the firelight in the room has turned this deep, verdant blue, and you don't see Samurai in here.
Is Newt still there?
Yes.
That's fine then. I'm just gonna walk in, get ready for bed.
Collapse on the chaise lounge, sure. You kind of take off some of your day clothes and just kind of fit on your night stuff. So Anya, you're in the bed. Eartha, you're on the chaise lounge, and Samurai, you're up on the beam. Would anyone like to do anything else tonight, or?
Surprisingly, yes. Once the doors shut and there's been like a minute or two and they're both getting ready for bed, so like that, I'll just up from my beam, and I'm just sat normally on the beam. I'm not like ready to pounce or anything. Just I don't really like them. All of them. And I'll drop down, and like as my invisibility wears off, I'll snap the flame back to its normal colour. And if you just give me a couple of minutes, I'm casting alarm on this room. I'm casting alarm on this room. Yeah, and I'll sit and ritually cast alarm.
Sure.
And I'm
Yeah,
gonna
so you're the
I'm gonna
preparation.
make my alarm specifically a mental note.
Okay.
So it just wakes me up.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, so to Earth and Anya as well, if you leave the room during the night, it will trigger a sound. Yeah.
Oh, no, I can choose it to not affect them too, so if they come and go, it's fine.
Earth and Anya, is there anything else you would like to do tonight, or would you like to go to sleep?
Not tonight, but I want to try wake up like a bit earlier than the other two.
Okay.
Like I'm assuming
Pause
we'll
a
be.
second.
Yeah.
Just because I need to ask you guys a general question. So yeah, sorry, Earth and Anya, is there anything else? Would you like to do anything else before you nod off, or
Not so much. Not off. Obviously, wake up a bit
Wake up
earlier.
early.
So like enough where I can get 4 hours of work in.
so you want to wake up at like
Probably-
you guys are finally not sleeping rough, so you guys are probably going to wake up for 9. So you want to wake up at like 5.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that should be fine. Yeah. So, well, to be fair, military-wise, I would have been waking up like 6 anyway. So to get a bit earlier wouldn't be too bad.
And Anya, would you like to do anything else, or are you going to bed?
No, I'm going to bed.
No worries. So yeah, you guys get a restful night's sleep. Except nothing strange, nothing testing, but Samara, you do nothing too noteworthy. As when you do wake up, you remember that you dreamed about Averrundax, but you don't remember what the dream was. You just remember seeing him in it, but you don't recall much more beyond that. Yeah, so Eartha, you wake up a few hours ahead of everyone else. Would you like to do that work in here? Would you like to leave and do that in like the lounge or leave the house? What would you do?
I will go down to the lounge and just do it on the coffee table, but I'll try to be quiet when I go downstairs, so I'm not like waking everyone up.
Okay, no worries. Yeah, so make a stealth check with advantage because you're not
I
wearing
knew
armor.
you were going to say that. 12.
Well, okay, yeah. Yeah, not a hard check. So yeah, you kind of creep downstairs. The stairs kind of creak a few times as you go down, but nothing, not like a just like a like light creaks as you go down. And yeah, you kind of probably take the bag of holding just with all the shit you need for the crafting in it, and then yeah, you kind of put it down on the floor and you pull out a coffee table a bit so it's good for working. Put out kind of a doily so it doesn't scratch the table, and yeah, you begin finishing up. This is the last round before the.
This is no. I will have it done after this.
So what type of gun is it again? Is it a pistol?
This is a pistol with 4 shots, so it has like a 4-round like magazine.
Chamber.
It's like
a revolver.
Yeah, so it's got like the 4 shots on the inside.
It's a chamber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do history. I know the parts of a weapon.
So yeah, get him.
Sorry, Jackson. I'm so sorry.
So you wake up just a little bit before sunrise, and there aren't windows in front of you from where you're working. You're kind of sitting on one of the sofas, or you can get one of the dining room chairs if you want something to go straight back to work on. But like you can feel the sun rise behind you as the light comes into the room.
Will it be dark before, like as I'm starting?
Yeah.
Well, instead of wasting their candles and that, I'm going to cast light on, I don't know, whatever I've got in my pocket. So a crossbow bolt, I'll cast light on.
Sure,
this.
and just leave it out.
Yeah,
Cool.
because that will last an hour, so that will last till sunrise. And if it doesn't, I'll just cast it again because it's a cantrip.
No worries. Yeah. Yeah. So using that, and then as the sun rises, you dispel that and put it back with your other stuff. And yeah, you finish the work, and by the end, you kind of spin the chamber a few times. Yeah. To the schematic, you have the schematics that had been in the letter that Durin, the butler from the society, had given you. You kind of have those out on the table as well. To the schematics, this is a perfect reconstruction of what the schematics were describing for you to build. This is a pistol, a 4-chambered revolving long cannon pistol.
Nice.
Now you just need some ammo.
I have some. I bought some ages ago. It's in the bag of holding. I've got 40 bullets. I do have 4
so yeah.
points, right?
Is there anything else you'd like to do, Eartha, or are you just waiting for kind of people to?
I think I'll just kind of wait.
No worries. Okay. Yeah. So you guys can jump in. Otherwise, if there's anything like no, I'm going to do this. But yeah. So Anya and Samurai, eventually, you guys get up, get dressed, you get your stuff ready, and you head down the living room where you find Eartha with his stuff. And you guys sit and chit chat for a bit. You know, at one point, Eartha, before anyone else comes down, you see John. You hear the same light creaks you'd made coming down, and you see Joshua. And as he sees you, he's like, "Oh, right! I didn't think you'd be up. Well, I'm heading off to work." And he kind of peers up to you and he shakes your hand. It was a pleasure meeting you. Thanks for staying.
Thank you for looking after us.
Of course, you've been wonderful. If you're ever passing back through, you ever need a place to stay, the kids think the world of you, and so do we. So just think of us. And he kind of taps you on the shoulder, and he kind of notices what you're doing. What's that?
I don't know if I want to describe it perfectly. It's a type of weapon. Like I'm a war cleric. I'm not a nice healy cleric. I'm that of war, unfortunately. But
Wow, that sounds very exciting.
dealing with some dangerous people, and I thought this might help me.
If only you were around a few years ago, eh? Well, this looks excellent. Very exciting stuff. But right, I'm gonna be off to work. Yes.
Yes. Be safe in your work, and thank you for looking after us.
Thank you kindly, and good luck wherever you're going. Hey.
Thank you.
And he kind of does a little jump, taps both of his ankles together as he leaves, and he trots down the stairs. You hear and door closes.
Will I finish this before these get up?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, then I would like to instantly holster it and keep it kind of hidden away.
Sure. Are you like? We'll say alongside of this, have you fashioned like a holster to go on the outside of your armor, or are you keeping it like attached to the bag? What's
basically I've fashioned like obviously I've got like my belt which holds my sword. I'm gonna fashion like a thing that kind of holds it on the back of me, so it's like hidden behind me most of the time.
Sure, so you can like reach behind. Sure. Yeah. Like a little leather holster.
Yeah, and to make it look as though I've been doing absolutely nothing when they get up, I'm gonna be reading the book on wyverns again.
Leg crossed, book open, reading glasses on. Yeah, sure.
Notepad on the side.
Yeah, taking notes, highlighting. So Anya, you eventually, blah blah blah, get dressed, come down, get your stuff. Samurai the same, and Dolores comes down. The kids probably won't be up for a little bit yet. But if you're wanting to be off, I'll tell them you said goodbye. It's been a real honor having you. Where are you going, by the way? Which way are you going?
South east. It was southeast, right? The map. It was.
You're going back the way you came.
It is southeast, isn't it? I'm not like being a spag.
Northwest.
Northwest. Oh, what?
The opposite direction.
See, for some reason in my head, it was like hit, whatever it was. He was there, and then the place was there. I don't know why I'm remembering it that way, but
that's literally where Suzel is.
It's been a couple of weeks since I
been
looked
what?
at it. Not since the map.
No, it was last week. No, you looked last week because you had to decide which road you were going on.
Oh no, I just knew we were going to that town. I didn't actually look at the map. But northwest.
You did because you had to decide which road it was.
Yeah,
you were like, no.
Yeah, I was looking for the town, not the place.
Oh, you're going off road, huh? Oh, well, you better be careful. Are you taking your horses and such, or do you want them left where they are?
Should we leave the... I'm assuming we probably would have had this discussion last night, but do we want to leave the horses here, and then we'll pick them up on the way back?
I feel like we should leave them, because I don't want them spooked, damaged, or while we're out, just anything.
Says the one who cast, what was it, Thunder Wave off the back of the last one?
Look, I was just trying to speed up. You were taking ages.
I don't want you to get into nothing over this. So we'll keep a good eye on them, make sure nobody does nothing. But no thieves here, and hope everyone's nice. So I'll keep an eye on them. But good luck. I hope you find whatever it is you're looking for. Yeah, let us know if you need anything.
Thank you. Well, it looks like we will be seeing you again then.
Very good. See you soon. I hope you tell me about your adventure when you get back. We'll have to talk about it over coffee at the cafe. Right, come on.
Even better, we'll have Anya sing it.
Oh, wow. You turn around, you turn theirs around quick. The birthday song was excellent. Never heard it that good. They kind of, she kind of pulls you in, like, leads you downstairs, and yeah, she kind of waves you off at the door. Right, bye.
We all leave and the door shuts, and then Jade gets out. Jade walks to the door and walks out.
You see Jade at the window, like a kid lost in a play park. Yeah, she's like, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, and she kind of taps your Jade on the back of the leg, and Jade goes, does a little wave back as Jade catches up with you. Yeah, you guys kind of give the horses a pat, say goodbye, and yeah, so you guys are heading northwest, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you don't need to worry about driving or lookout or anything, but can you guys elect someone to roll a D100 for day of travel, the travel period?
Jackson, you've got shit rolls, don't do it.
I like... Okay.
Jess, you do it. Jess, you want to roll it? Because I don't trust Jackson.
Just doing it.
No, Jackson rolls crap.
Hang on. Well, that's not a picture now, because now I have to try not roll crap. Right, okay.
Yeah, but Jackson's like consistently bad.
Not at D100s, I'm consistently good.
Oh, that's a fair point.
54.
Oh, no.
54.
What do you mean, oh no?
Okay.
It's awful.
How do you know?
Okay.
I
So,
know.
you leave.
You could get
behind. There is no road that heads west, and the town is walled, so you have to head north, out of town, out of the walls, and then kind of curl off left between fields and out into the rolling hills. And every once in a while, you still see fields and farmsteads off-road in their own private plots of land, even as you get 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hours out off-road. Yeah, and looming in the distance ahead of you, behind you, you kind of eventually, you can always, you're only going a few hours out, so you can always still see Hilp off in the distance behind you a bit. And as you approach the King's Forest, which is the only real major thing in this area, you'll follow if you've got the map, you're following the map, kind of leading in the right direction. Yeah, you kind of get to this area where you're about 15 minutes away from the tree line of the King's Forest. You turn around, you can see Hilp 6 hours off in the distance. Could you all make a perception check? Because this area, there doesn't appear to be much here.
Am I using sight?
Yes.
Nat 20.
Nat 20.
36.
36. And Anya?
13.
13. So Anya, I will say Anya, you're actually reading the map. So you're kind of more concerned with getting to the location of the map than looking for what's here. But every time you look up, you are just seeing like fields and farms that don't seem to be quite where the map is leading, and the tree line, which also doesn't seem to be where the map is leading. You're kind of in this vacant area. But Eartha and Samura, you catch kind of the rolling hills that you're in kind of a divot between two hills. The only thing of note that you see around here is a well, a very old-looking, kind of crumbling mound of stones with kind of an old two wooden beams and a cross beam, an old well. That's the only thing of note that you see around here.
I think I know what's happening.
You're thinking the same thing I am?
Well, a well only leads to one place. Well, it's only meant to.
Oh.
Yeah, we should jump down the well.
Whoa. Before we jump down, we should probably check.
Yeah, I've got wings.
How big's the well? Like, what's... Because he might not be able to flap his wings to get back out.
As you approach, you kind of like, again, it's like, that thing near Hadrian's Wall, the two hills and the tree in the middle. it's kind of like that, kind of two hills where they kind of like where they're like in between the divots, kind of in this small kind of isolated canyon. There is this well, and as you approach and you kind of you touch the stones at the side and you take a look. So it's a ring of old cobblestones. I always forget what's it from one. Is it diameter or radius? Diameter is from both sides. Like
diameter is both sides. Radius
Yeah.
is from middle to end.
So radius is 5 foot. Diameter is 10 foot. It's about 10 foot across, a 10-foot circle.
Yeah, 10 foot. I can fit in 10 foot. Sure.
With two wooden beams from the side, and like a wooden cross beam for like the rope with the bucket to go down, but there is no rope or bucket currently attached.
How strong does the crossbeam look?
Make a survival check.
26.
26. You've seen better. This doesn't look like it's been reliably used. It looks like it's maybe been used on occasion, but not reliably used for decades. So it doesn't look like it would break one person at a time, maybe. If you feel confident, one average normal weighing person at a time. But you put too much weight on it, and you put a little bit too much, and this thing will probably snap.
Because I have a grappling hook and rope.
I'll fly down.
Samara. Well, so Samara, you can kind of see. Samara, make a perception check.
Oh no. 7.
So you kind of straddle jump to the side and begin to fall as you kind of fall into a pencil dive, and your wings spread and kind of catch you before you hit the bottom. You see there is water down here, but you fell for quite a bit. It looks to be from the lip of the well, like from the opening of the well to the surface of the water. It's about 65 feet. Quite a drop. And for most of it, it's kind of a narrow 10-foot-ish closing and opening at various times until about maybe 40 feet when it begins to open up into a larger chamber. Now that you're down here, you see there is an underground river running west to east, about pretty wide, about 30 feet wide. And you notice it runs from the west. Probably, you think, from the river you'd crossed before, which curls north into the King's Forest. So probably some sort of underwater lesion kind of siphons water off, and it flows underground, and it flows east. But you notice it's kind of on a gradient. It's not like flowing across. It's kind of flowing down, and not so much that like it's like a waterfall or rapids. It's just on a gentle gradient going down. And there is kind of the cavern. So the cavern continues in 3 directions: against the flow of the water, with the flow of the water, and higher up, kind of just above the water's surface, maybe about 5-10 feet above the water surface. There does seem to be the cavern continues on a bit, like not with the river, not with the flow of the river, just on like solid ground.
Right, I'll fly back up, because presumably I can.
Yeah. Fly back up. Samurai re-emerges.
And I'll tell them this.
Yep.
And I'll say,
you guys know that.
I have a funny feeling the way we need to go is gonna be on that third path.
Well, I have 100 feet of rope. However, here's the catch: the 100 feet of rope is in 250 feet. So we're gonna have to tie them together to get down there.
Well, it's only a gentle stream. I could go back down. If you get 50 feet down, 65-ish feet drop, it's gonna be 15 feet to water. Depending on how deep the water is, you won't even need to tie them. You can just drop.
Yeah, but what about getting back up?
Yeah, well, I can help with
Sucks
that.
to be you.
I can try and lift you a good bit of the way.
I'm still gonna tie a rope just to be safe.
Fair enough. I guess you
yeah.
always untie it.
Irtha, make a strength or dexterity check with advantage.
Focus advantage. 23.
I saw you tying 2 bits of rope together, or are you just leaving it as 50 foot?
I'm going to tie 2 bits together so we can get back out.
Yeah, so you find the end of one and the end of the other, and you tie them together kind of farish down to get like a nice knot. You tie it in 2 places just to be safe, and yeah, you kind of leave them both in a bound in rolls on your arm, and you kind of chuck the grappling hook, clings onto the crossbeam, and yeah, you.
Actually, how sturdy does the side look, like the actual side of the well? Is that sturdier than the wood, would you say?
It doesn't look like cemented or anything. It's a lot of it looks like loose cobbles, big ones, so they're not like falling in all the time. You can see over time a few here and there have fallen in, but like probably you think the wood's a safer bet.
And then I will use the wood and say I'll call when I'm at the bottom.
Yeah, so if you kind of give it a few tugs and it seems okay, so yeah, you drop the rope and you hear the water kind of so you hear the rope hit the water surface and splash off it and then begin to sink in. Yeah, so
Can I turn to everyone and go, I don't know if my flying would make it worse or better, but I could fly halfway down and kind of keep an eye on the knot you've tied. Maybe even once we're all down there, I could untie the knot and with it dragging on.
If you could, when we're all down there, can you fly back up and grab the grappling hook, like the full thing? Because you can always fly back up and put it on. Because then that way, they don't know where we are.
Yeah, it's a good idea. I was just thinking we should untie the rope too, just in case it came undone. But yeah, we should do the whole thing. But do you want me to fly down halfway now and keep an eye on the knot while you are traversing downwards too?
I mean, you can do, but the knot's only going to be 50 foot from the bottom, so we should be alright. That would be much appreciated.
Yeah. I'll fly down and I'll say to them, I'm going to fly down not to the knot in the rope, but just to the bottom, and actually hold the bottom of the rope so that the rope actually swings onto the path and they're not just dropping into the water still.
Okay, sure. Yeah, so if make a dexterity or acrobatics check with advantage.
Wow, being a flying character's fun.
Yeah. Bandit campaign too.
Yes, that's fine.
So I got a 15.
15.
However, I did also roll a 2. But luckily it was with advantage.
Good. Okay. Yeah, so if you begin your descent, and yeah, eventually as you get to like the end of the 50-foot rope and you kind of skip over the knot, just not to tempt it from loosening, you kind of drop down a little bit, and the rope begins to curl in off the water surface and over to the bit of the dry cavern, the ground where Samara is. Were you just holding it, Samara?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Samara is kind of holding it, and you eventually get there, and you kind of boots on the ground. Anya, would you like to do the same?
Mm-hmm.
So make a acrobatic or dexterity check with advantage.
I'll give the rope to Urfa this time so he can hold it, and I'll fly kind of like 5 feet under Jess. Because I know I'm not the strongest, but in case she falls or anything, I can kind of like push her back onto the rope and she can try and grab on again.
I don't think you need
No
to.
worries.
Also,
What did you get, Anya? 8. So yeah, kind of nearing the knot, about 20 foot from the water surface. Anya, you're not particularly used to rope climbing. It's not like it's not something you've particularly engaged with too much. In fact, you kind of got this queasy feeling in your stomach because climbing on the rope has kind of reminded you of when you were in the cenote where the green dragon Rallianate had been, and you'd kind of been playing about on the vines, and you've been seeing people hanging in the vines, and it kind of turns your stomach upside down a bit. And as you get to the knot, you kind of pull on it, and your other hand slips, and you just put too much pressure on where the knot is, and it unties, and the second rope kind of falls free, and you kind of grasp for a second. Samara, make a strength or dexterity check.
I was going to say, whilst this is going on, I'm casting light on a bolt, so it's like a glow stick, kind of.
16.
No, 16. Yeah, so Anya, as the other rope, the one that you've been climbing on, kind of falls free and falls out of your reach, and the other one falls towards the water surface, Samara kind of grabs you, kind of fireman catch, and kind of just ferries you to the dry ground where he puts you down. So all three of you are now at the edge of the water. So you can go against the water's grain, with the water's grain, or on the down the dry path.
I'll shoot back up and get the grapple hook first, and then.
Yeah. Okay. Samurai, you dart it, untangle it, and fall down with it, and you begin to roll it back up, get the water out of the water. Eartha, no, because you would have been holding the other end. So Eartha, you can pull up the other end. So you've got the two things of water. You can put them back in the rope, and you can put them back in the bag of holding.
Can I cast light on 3 bolts? Because they're basically just sticks. They're no longer bolts; they're now glow sticks for me. Because I no longer need the crossbow. So
can you cast light 3 times?
It's not a concentration. It's a cantrip.
Oh,
it's just if I've got the parts for it.
Yeah. I can also just cast dancing light, although the light emittance isn't great. But
this
still.
is pretty good.
It's a cantrip. So Eartha, you cast light on 3 bolts, 3 crossbow bolts, and give 1 to Anya, 1 to Samura. So they are emitting quite a bright. What color light?
I want to make them like proper glow stick and make them green, but I don't want to do that at the same time because I feel that would be a bit creepy.
Do whatever you want.
So we're going to go like a normal candle light, so like an orangey
warm
red.
Orangey white, sure. So a nice candle light kind of emits from these bolts, which you can use as sight. Could you all make a perception check?
19.
19. Eartha?
Maths, hang on.
It's over 20.
Anya?
11.
11.
29. It wasn't over 30.
Okay. And yours was 19, Samurai?
Yes.
Okay. Samurai, you guys are like... Samurai, you kind of... you just helped Anya land, so Anya, you're kind of like shaking off the shock of nearly falling into the water and kind of just straighten yourself back up. Samurai, you fly up to get the rope and return. Eartha, you can hear talking coming from down the direction of the dry, like where the path leads, the cavern, the dry ground cavern leads.
Does it sound like it's getting closer, or is it?
No, it sounds like conversation. You can't quite make out what they're saying. You think you'd have to get a bit closer to make out the words. You're like right on that line between. You can hear that they're saying words. You can hear like the pauses and the breaks. You can't make out exactly what's being said. Would you like to try and like creep closer and try and hear anything?
I'm gonna actually turn back and walk a little bit away and ask Samura to do it with his shadow form, assuming he's able to do that.
Okay. Yeah.
Dim light. I'll darken brief. I'll kind of creep forwards.
So Samurai, make a perception check.
6.
So Samurai, you are going to have to get very close to the source if you want to try and make anything out.
I'm going to creep back a bit, and I'm going to send the weasel in.
Okay.
And I'm going to look through the weasel's eyes. I believe it's... Yeah, so the weasel has a perception of +3 and a stealth of +5.
Okay, so make a perception check.
Okay, it's a little better. It's a 7.
Okay. So as Abba, in his weasel form, is kind of creeping down the thing, the first thing you notice, so I'll give you this, you're not getting the sound much clearer, but you come across a body halfway down this tunnel. It looks to the end where you can't really see much further. It's quite long, about 40, 50 feet descending down of like this rocky cavern. And the space is about like a 10, 15 foot like circular cave as it goes down. You do come across a body. If you want, you're still not making anything out, so if you want, you can go forward with a stealth check and try and perceive again if you like.
Can I try and look around the body to see if I can gather anything from it?
Make an investigation check.
The weasel investigator. Is it a don't know, it might be a plus. That's 14.
14. You recognize not the person, but you recognize not who they are. You're not like, oh, that's Steve, but you recognize who they belong to. They are a drow. They look to be a drow raider or slaver, like the ones you'd encountered outside of Baldur's Gate, who'd ambushed you when you were making camp, when you were sleeping for the night at your camp, your first day out of Baldur's Gate. This appears to be a drow, kind of roguey looking individual.
I'll try and creep a 5 feet closer.
Okay. Did you make a stealth check? Sorry, I forgot.
I hadn't yet.
So okay, if you want, make a stealth. So right now you're probably about halfway down the cabin. So I'll say this: you can see the cabin ends with a stone doorway. You can see like instead of like the rough-hewn stone, there is just a flat stone wall with a stone double doorway, and the doors have been pushed open. As you approach that doorway, it is dark inside. Make a perception check just for sound, and make a stealth check.
Perception check is 14.
14.
Stealth check is 14.
14. Okay. The becomes a bit clearer. The mumbling begins to fade. You recognize first the voice of Averrundax. I'll ask one more time. What does she want? You hear a voice you don't recognize.
She tempers her blade in the hottest of crucibles, so that it will not shatter upon impact with the enemy.
A few moments of silence go by. No more riddles, Rhonda Horribos. What does she intend to use him for?
Fine, Averrundax. I'll tell you what I would do. Averrundax's Dragon Ward. You recall?
Few moments go by again.
Elves.
She planned all of this, didn't she?
That, brother, I don't know. But yes.
And you hear a kind of like a dull, like doom, like the sound of something falling.
Can you tell me, did he say the brother's name there for a second?
I will read them out of character voice so you can understand what the fuck I was saying.
I can't write it that fast.
Averrundax said, I'll ask one more time. What does she want? Someone else responded in a gargling voice. She tempers her blade in the hottest of crucibles so that it will not shatter upon impact with the enemy. Averrundax responded, no more riddles, Rhonda Horribos. I can send you that.
Yes.
In fact, just while I will take a picture of the speech, so you can write that down. So, no more riddles, Rhonda Horribos. What does she intend to use him for? Rhonda Horribos presumably responded, I'll tell you, fine, Averrundax, I'll tell you what I would do. Averrundax's Dragon Ward, you recall? Averrundax responded, hells. She planned all of this, didn't she? And Rhonda Horribos responded, that, brother, I do not know, but yes.
Right, yeah, if you can send me that would be great, because I'm never going to do it right now.
So then it ended with kind of like this, like this ghastly sound, and then like a clattering. Just getting a drink from my foot. So...
Oh.
What?
I think I know it, but I'll wait.
Figured it out. No, that's it. What would you? So you can have. Would you like to have Abba come back, or?
Yeah, I'll have Abba come back, and then I'll as Abba's come back, I'll go back to Samarana to tell these two. I don't know whether to be happy or to be sad. I knew my father was strong, but brother, ancient blue dragon. Good news. I don't think we're going to be fighting an ancient blue dragon. I think he's already dead.
So you're willing to just walk in there?
I don't see another plan, but to be honest, no, I really don't want to.
Do you want me to?
Either we walk in there, and there's an ancient blue dragon, and my father was a spirit of himself, with some sort of magic talking to him, or we walk in there, and my father, the powerful wizard, sorcerer, is there, and the blue dragon isn't. And I don't know which one I'm more scared of. He's saying this kind of chuckling at the end, but also you can tell he's half he's ready to cry.
Yeah. Cool.
If we're doing this, I've got to go in first.
Well, like you normally do, I've got a new toy to play with, so I'm happy to go in with you.
And yeah.
There was no sound. There was no sound with that one.
I just presumed it was a yes from the nodding.
Me?
No.
Oh, I said I'll go in with you.
It would be so funny if Jess just didn't know what to say. She was like,
Yeah.
Yeah. What would you like to do, Samara?
I'll start walking. Not sneaking. Not running. Walking.
Abba runs up and kind of curls around your neck, and you feel him squeeze tight around you.
Once I get about halfway down, I'll just go, Father! I'll just keep walking.
No response.
I'm gonna...
And Averrundax, Jade. Oh wait, I think... How the fuck is Jade get? I think Jade is just gonna have to chill up top.
Yeah, Jade's up top.
Yeah, because she's gonna sink like a stone. So yeah, Jade's just kind of playing with that chess set up top, just playing herself. Yeah. So Averrundax, you follow on, Abba kind of clutching around the back of your head and your neck, Samara. As you descend this rough-hewn hallway, this cavernous hallway, you come across this wall with the not natural at all, very clearly clean stone cut, two big stone doors that have been pushed open. This is a huge space, 60 foot wide, 80 foot long, kind of a slightly domed hallway, but huge. Straight down the center is a 60 foot long reflecting pool, like the one you'd seen at in Baldur's Gate, where you'd met the whiskey lady at the pavilion. Just kind of the shallow pool of water meant for religious reflecting. This long, narrow, about 10 foot wide, 60 foot long reflecting pool of this black water stretches out in front of you. And filling up the entire rest of this space, 3 on each side, 6 in total, are the mummified remains of 6 ancient dragons. You can see, actually, each of you can make a perception check.
Oh, I've just realised the plot line, which could be true. Because, actually, it's a 9 with my eyes.
9, Eartha?
28.
28, Anya?
13.
13. Eartha, you're the only one that realised this. The 6 mummified remains of these ancient dragons. You can tell they were mummified from the the description you'd had of the Crypt of Dragons. The person who had initially discovered it had reported mummified dragons, and you can still see the wrappings and the embalming on some parts of the dragons and blah blah blah. But you can see as well, and you can see this. There are the bodies of drow everywhere. 6 just up front, some splattered in the reflecting pool, some pushed up against dragons, all scorched, some further down in the room. about 15 in total, not including the one outside, drow slavers, like the ones you'd met outside Baldur's Gate. They had clearly been mining, for lack of a better word, these well-preserved dragons for their scales, teeth, organs. They had been scalping them of what they were worth. So what were once probably 6 nicely preserved dragons are now beginning to rot, and this room stinks of rot as you see the partially opened remains of these dragons here and there. And standing, the one, just to show you kind of my general plan. So this is the room, this is the hallway you walk into, and this is the reflecting pool stretching up the middle. And each of these boxes is a different dragon. Eartha, you can tell the 2 furthest away, one on each side, is a black dragon. Both are black, and there is one of each other color. There is a white, there is a green, there is a red, there is a blue. And to the immediate left, the ancient dragon there is a blue one. And you can see an individual with kind of his hand pressed against the roof of the skull, the head of this dead, mummified, somewhat ancient blue dragon. A tall individual, human, about 6'2", long black hair down to like his shoulders. A nice dignified blue long coat, dark blue with kind of gold trimmings here and there. Black pants and tall black boots, and a nice light blue shirt and a dark blue vest underneath, and a white ascot kind of tucked in. A thin black beard and mustache. That kind of they're thin, all except in the bottom where they kind of grow out and point into a very sharp angle. This individual kind of resting his hand on the head of one of these dragons, which has fallen to the side. This blue dragon. Yeah, he doesn't do much, as you guys. So he's currently about 25, 30 feet away from you, kind of diagonally. You guys are standing at the foot of the reflecting pool. He's kind of off to the left, ahead of you, where the head of this dragon is, as he'd been talking with it, as Samara had thought, probably using a spell, speak with dead, something like that, and just takes his hand away, kind of wipes it against his pants, stands up straight, kind of tucks his coat in, wipes it off, and he kind of approaches you, but he approaches the left side of the reflecting pool. There is no barrier on the reflecting pool. The water is so shallow that like it doesn't overflow the ground. And he kind of just approaches the side and kind of casts a curious glance off towards you, mainly at Summer.
Did you expect me to never come? To never find you?
Quite the opposite. I've been waiting.
Why did you make it so difficult?
That is the way, Samura. He kind of approaches a bit now, not wanting to strain his voice by shouting. Approaches 5-10 feet. Still at the left side, but about 10 feet away from you.
Come on. I found you. I did what you wanted.
He kind of just raises his hand. We've never been formally introduced. I am Averrundax, Stormscourge. You are Arthur Stepret and Anya Enduran. I am familiar. We needn't proceed down that path. Samara, the last time we spoke, you indicated that you had been in touch with a dangerous entity.
Yes.
Have you proceeded down that path?
I'll just snap my fingers. Armor will come up.
He looks down. Looks back towards, presumably, his brother. Disappointing.
Well,
Amara, this is something doesn't stand out to you because you've seen it many times. Earth and Anya, you notice black veins creeping up his pale, gauntish skin along his neck. You see there is a very tight metal collar wrapped around his lower neck, throat. Very tight metal plate that travels up around his neck, kind of covered at the back by a high collar, and kind of almost tried to be hidden behind an ascot in places, but you can very clearly see this collar that digs into his neck. Disappointing.
Well, I had no one else to turn to. Someone wasn't receiving my messages. So...
He looks off into the darkness, which now that your eyes are adjusting, even though it's a dark space, I'll say with your arrow, with the light spell and blah, 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 you can make out everything in this room fairly clearly. The corpses of the drow, the reflecting pool, the 6 mummified dragons, and the stench. I told you where to go. I told you if anything was to happen, if we were to get separated, to go to Larathylar. Did you go to Larathylar?
Yes, I did.
And now you're here. What's the issue?
The issue is, you left a 4-year-old, and I know I mature a lot faster than everyone else, but you left a happily, bubbly 4-year-old alone with no one.
You've never been alone, Samura. I left you in good hands, and I've seen you every step of the way.
Yeah. Well, if someone invisible watches you, it's kind of hard to see them back.
Hardly invisible, Samura. You see, kind of flying from behind Rhonda Horribos, the ancient blue dragon, you see Averrundax's familiar, a albino raven, a stark white raven with these piercing red eyes, kind of land on his arm, and he kind of, you see his hand kind of tighten as he kind of whispers an incantation, and the form of the raven kind of melts into this black puddle that drips off his arm, and as you see like the liquid dripping, it kind of shoots back up as you feel a weight loosen off your neck, and you see Abba as a frog appear on his arm. I've seen every time you've allowed me to see. And Abba kind of wanders down to his hand, onto the palm of his hand, and he kind of bends down and drops Abba into the reflecting pool, and Abba kind of slowly bounces towards you.
I was so angry. I was so upset. I wanted nothing more than to just... It's the only reason I made that deal. I'm not even angry anymore.
I'm glad.
I'm just disappointed.
He kind of tilts his head to the side so his long hair kind of falls, and he kind of grabs it up into and he kind of starts beginning to tie it, and he's like, well, Samura, the thing with parents and the thing with children is... And he kind of finishes loosing it up into like this man bun until there's only like 2 loose strands of hair. You will always be disappointed. Now.
No, it wasn't at you. Not disappointed at you.
Neither at you. But you need to be aware of the path you were walking down.
I know about her. One question.
Of course. You've earned that.
Why did you just never tell me you were a blue dragon? I mean, I've got my theories, but...
Because I am not. Do I look like a blue dragon right now?
Well, I'm pretty sure that one just called you brother.
Rhonda Horribos is my brother. I was a blue dragon. Just like you. And he kind of stops himself.
I was...
unimportant. What we were and what we are different things, Samura.
Well, I guess my thought of it was always that you wouldn't want to tell a child, because a child would obviously spill his mouth, and then a city would come after you. But... He takes a step back, and he puts his hand on Rhonda Horribos' head again, and he tears some of the mummification, the bandage, the embalming tape,
pulls it back, and you see he just kind of digs his hand into his brother's head and tears out one of the blue scales, and he kind of just frisbees it over to you. If you want to catch it, you can. If you don't want to, you can let it fall.
I'll try and catch it.
Yeah, it's easy enough. You catch it. It's not a huge scale because it's on the head. Kind of a lot of little scales go up at the bigger ones. You catch it. You look at it. It's blue. You haven't seen a blue dragon before. You've seen green. You've seen amethyst. But you haven't seen a blue dragon with your own eyes. What do you know about chromatic dragons, Samurai? What is the one truth about those kind of dragons?
They aren't particularly nice, and they like to reside with dear old friend Tiamat.
Precisely. I was evil. Naturally evil. And then something happened, and I wasn't a dragon anymore. And now I don't have those needs, those urges, and I'm not evil anymore. So I am not a blue dragon. I am a man, and you are what you are, not what you were. And he kind of motions now at Anya and Eartha. Just like they are not children wandering about on their own. You are now a unit that works together with some efficiency. You are not what you were, you are what you are. I don't like to dwell in the past. That is why I never told you. I am sorry if that offends you, but it was my secret to keep.
Yeah, I guess I can't deny that one. Well, since you are here, well, I hope you're not in any rush, but knowing you always did have another spell to cast.
I have places to be, but I have time.
Care to sit the night? An hour or two?
Of course. Nothing that pressing. And he kind of like looks around. Oh, and he more looks at you. You get the sense he knows a fair bit about you. You get the sense he's been watching you a lot. Just the way he treats you. He treats you like you might think about a TV character. You know a lot about them, even though they don't know you exist. He's like, Eartha, I haven't been here long if you want to poke around for treasure. Come, Samurai.
No, what I was going to say, be careful. People are coming. And then I'm going to gesture to the room. Not like it's going to be a problem. Just a
people are coming?
Yes.
People are coming. What do you mean people are coming? Now he approaches you, so you're not like talking at a distance. He's face to face with you. What do you mean people are coming?
What's the face? The people you stole the map from. They were on about hunting you, which is how we knew how to find you. Because they let that slip, but they're not very clever. So we made a copy of your map and got here.
It's gonna be You left ahead of them?
Yeah. About half a day.
Then we have time. We'll cross that bridge when it comes to it.
I mean, we can always wait and ambush them here.
Unless, well, is it a formidable force? Are we needing to leave ahead of time, or...?
It's about 10 or so people. One-on-one, even us three could take them out easily, never mind yourself.
Yeah, child's play. Well, just because, and he kind of motions at the ground to all the dead drow. I have a sneaking suspicion that river goes to the Underdark.
It's definitely an escape route, that's for sure. Doubt we'll need it.
Yes, that should be fine. Well, and he kind of, and I have no bones about if you want to strip these big old things for anything they're worth. No hard feelings.
You sure?
Yes, and he kind of like looks at his brother, so Rhonda Horivos' head is about like 3 times bigger than Averrundax's whole body, and he kind of like gives it like a slight hug, and he's like, he was always a prick. Anything you need. I only found one thing of any worth. And he kind of motions to Eartha. What you could tell was formerly a white dragon from kind of some of the scales and stuff that haven't rotted yet. One of the drow, they'd found something inside of it. It's an egg. Must have been mummified in the womb.
An egg.
Yes, an egg.
Can I take that, Eartha? I'll grab it.
I was gonna say, wait, whoa. Now, what are you gonna do with it? Make another omelette, or we're gonna sell it?
No, I'm gonna hold over it in front of my father for while I explain the natural order of my abilities.
Eartha, make an insight check.
19.
19. When Samura is kind of holding the egg, Averrundax is pretending not to look, but you see him kind of side-eye look, and you see like a little smile kind of curl up until it's lost in the hairs of his mustache.
Second thoughts, buddy. I think I will keep that for now. That's alright.
Sure. I guess I have hard to explain with this in my hand anyways.
Yeah, and
I'll pass it on.
I'll take it over and inspect it quickly. Before I put it in the bag of holding.
Make a perception check.
29.
Looks pretty similar to the ones you'd seen, even the ones you'd stolen from Rallianate. You can kind of go like, oh, okay, maybe that's, like, there's some kind of different dappling there. Maybe that's the difference between white and green, but for the most part, you're not even sure if your memory is entirely reliable. They look pretty much dead on the same. You can't tell if your mind is just trying to fill in some of the blanks. Looks like the dragon egg, like the ones you took before.
I'm gonna throw it in the bag of holding and keep an eye on Averrundax.
Okay. Careful it doesn't hatch.
I'm gonna hold a light up to it and see if there's something in it before I put it in the bag of holding.
Make a perception check.
23.
You can see the scales on the egg are just far too dense to let any light pass through. You can't make out any shape, but listening to it and kind of feeling it, because the womb had been mummified, you think enough of the warmth inside, you think it is still, you don't think the egg is calcified or dead in any way, but it's dormant.
Well, put it in the bag of holding, it won't wake up, will it? Because there's no oxygen.
Yeah.
And even if it did wake up, it'd die after a couple of minutes.
Yeah, that's what he meant.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, I'll just put it in there then.
So,
I was just gonna say, if you want, we can go have a large hall, and I've got some other things I want to discuss with you. So, do you want to step over to the other side?
He kind of glances at Anya and Eartha, so of course, and he kind of motions off and follows you.
I'll turn to these two. Don't worry,
It's not about you.
I think I know him. I'll let you know if anything bad happens.
Right.
I'll wander off.
What is it you'd like to discuss, Samura?
I mean, I know now you've been watching me, but do you actually know how these powers work? I thought I may as well share it with you.
I know bits and pieces. Everything that Abba saw, I saw.
Well, I can, if it's not broad daylight.
I saw you devour an egg in the trees. I presume that was not for no reason.
No, if I devour the egg, I can transform into a youngling dragon of that type. So, as you saw, green dragon, I can now transform into a young green dragon.
When you see a smile kind of creep up the side of his mouth again until it gets lost in the facial hair. When I saw you hold that egg, it reminded me of when I found you. I thought it was ironic. And he kind of pats on this like mummified dragon's leg, indicating for you to sit.
I'll sit.
Kind of hop up, and he stays standing, and he kind of leans against it. That egg must have been inside that dragon for hundreds of years. And when I found you, your friend's father, Salu, his father Modi, one of the hunters had found an egg in a ruin, in an abandoned nest that hadn't hatched for hundreds of years. And he wanted to sell it as an ornament or something like that. And I told him it would be worth nothing, and that's mostly true, except I had an idea. And I pulled some resources because I wanted to see if I could take something that by all means should be dead and give it a second chance. And he kind of grimaces, kind of poking his eye a bit, flexing his forehead. Samura, Aarakocra cannot be wizards, not at your age. And there are many reasons why you are different. You have magic within you. You were an egg that died 100 years ago or more, that I gave a second chance to using stands from the plains of purple dust, a phoenix feather, so on, so forth. You said before that I left a 4-year-old all alone. That's not true. You're at least 104, and that may still be but a child in my eyes. To the others out there, you have significant wisdom within you, but you just need to tap into it more. And he kind of flexes his forehead again. I'm going off point. It made me happy when I saw that egg in your hands, because it reminded me of me holding your egg for the first time, this dormant thing that against all of the odds is not fully dead yet. And you didn't punch a hole in it and eat it alive, which was... It made me glad I gave you a second chance. Do you understand that?
Yeah, I do.
He kind of... He starts scratching the collar around his neck, but you can continue speaking.
Although it would have been nice to know any of that. It would have been nice to just be normal. You know what I'm stuck in right now? I'm stuck between an evil dragon, an evil trickster, and this red knight, and honestly, here, and especially this one guy who follows it, are the most boring people.
He kind of leans against the dragon, and he's like, I know, I was watching. That thing you did with the cart was genius, and it should have worked. And he gives you shit about it every opportunity he gets, but I thought it was very entertaining.
It's not my fault he couldn't handle the horses.
It's physics, really. He should have handled the horses. And he just keeps pinching at the collar.
What else is it?
It hurts something. But it's better than the alternative.
Did you do this to yourself?
It's a long story. Do you want to hear it now, or...?
I think we have plenty of time until the others get here.
He kind of puts a foot in this dragon's mouth and levies himself up, so he's sitting on like top of the head, kind of just looking down on you a little bit. A long time ago, have you ever heard of the King Killer Star?
Have I?
Make a history check. 18. The King Killer Star was a shooting star, a comet that would appear every few hundred years. It wasn't like on a schedule. It didn't come like every 330 years. It just showed up. And it would start this phenomenon called the Rage of Dragons. Every time this star appeared in the sky, all the dragons on Tyrell went into this frenzy. They killed everything. Mothers killed their children. Fathers killed their wives. Not wives, dragons don't get married, but fathers killed their partners. You know, like, dragons just had this, even the evil ones, they did things that they would never normally do. They just went into this bloodlust frenzy. And the whole phenomenon was ended a few decades ago. You don't know the specifics of it, but it's supposed to not happen anymore. But he continues. The King Killer Star was arriving, and Larathylar and I had just had our brood, and we devised a plan to lock ourselves in our non-draconian state temporarily, so that even if we did succumb to the frenzy, we could not do any damage to that which we cared about. We accepted assistance from the Arcane Brotherhood, who tricked me. Larathylar was not given, and he kind of clutches the collar. Larathylar was never given the opportunity, and she demolished our children. I was locked in this state permanently by the Arcane Brotherhood, and they attempted to use that as leverage to get me to do things for them. But I refused, and they refused in turn to remove it from me, and as time went by, those draconian impulses of death and destruction and terror, they all faded. And there is evil within me, there is evil within everyone, but I am not evil primarily anymore. I am more like the form I take now. After decades went by, I didn't seem to age, but I became human in other ways. Something in the middle.
What about your body? I mean, is there just an ancient blue dragon corpse rotting away somewhere?
And he kind of takes a step back. He kind of sits up straight, sorry. Very old dragons. More so the metallic, but even some of the more powerful gem and chromatic dragons, when they reach very old and very powerful age, they garner the ability to assume human form, a polymorph, shape-changing type of thing. So if this collar were to be removed, I could polymorph, shape-change myself back into my dragon shape, but I don't particularly want to, in case I become that Averrundax. The Averrundax that's written about in books. Again.
I think I'm nearly done, but just one little thing. You always hated gods. If Tiamat comes, and I promise you, I'm prepared to walk away at the first time I have to do something truly evil, but at the minute...
Samura, just as you're speaking, your stomach growls so furiously. You feel this hunger in your stomach. You know when you feel so hungry that it's almost like your stomach is like pulsing, trying to digest your stomach, like it's eating itself?
Yeah.
You feel this pang of hunger, this craving for something very specific. Continue.
But, and oh, she is not happy hearing that, and it's not a wonder she's looking on me right now with you stood next to me.
And he straightens up. Oh, she can't see in here. She is not looking at you right now.
Oh, that's good. Maybe.
We're in, this place is a shrine to No, her brother. They do not get along. Her eyes do not prevail this way.
Fair enough. Maybe it's just the natural power she possesses within me, which is really making me want to eat that egg. But anyways.
That'll be it.
I can walk away if I need to. And I haven't done anything too bad so far, I'm sure you've seen that. I guess, what I'm trying to ask here is, imagine you could take that collar off. And in doing so, even though you truly don't want to, it would be the end of Tiamat. Would you do it?
There are some foes, Samurai, that cannot be beaten. Tiamat is one of them. She is, even though she is sealed away in the hells, and you see his face he when you've been told information, but it doesn't register in your head, so you begin talking about something else, forgetting that information's important, and he kind of recalls, presumably what you think, the conversation he was having before with his brother. Only gods can defeat gods, Samurai, and unfortunately, neither of us are gods.
Well, you can at least try and make sure she doesn't get out. But I guess you can try and do that for every god. You always hated gods.
He looks down at you and he's like, Samurai, you are the only one that can make sure she doesn't get out now, I'm afraid.
Oh, what a lovely thing to hear.
It's not going to be hard. Just quit her while you can.
That's precisely my issue. Yes, I can quit. Yes, she won't get out. How long does it take her to pick someone else? I doubt that takes very long.
The interesting thing, Samurai, is you are the only option. And he kind of jumps down and he looks up at you very quickly because we should really be moving on. Waterdeep, the city, you're familiar, your friend is from there. There is a ward on the city, Averrundax's dragon ward. A dragon, or a creature with draconic blood, cannot enter Waterdeep without an overwhelming compulsion to turn around and leave. A few years ago, Tiamat, along with her little cult, attempted to break out of the Nine Hells. The Lord's Alliance, the cities of Northern Faerun, banded together, didn't allow that to happen. Then they confiscated this very important artifact, the Mask of the Dragon Queen, which they then took back to Waterdeep. I don't know where in Waterdeep, but now that is firmly out of the reach of any dragons. So she cannot really send anyone with dragonness in there. I didn't realize it at first, but what Vronda Haravos was saying makes perfect sense. You were tempered to be a dragon without being a dragon. You hated me, so you had a reason to align yourself with her, and she needed a dragon that didn't have dragon's blood. Even when a dragon turns into a different form, it is still a dragon. There is no part of you that is a dragon, and yet you can turn into a dragon. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think I could fill in the rest on my own.
Most people that aren't dragons have no interest in siding with Tiamat. Some in her cult, but most of them are too feeble to do anything about it. But like I said, Samurai, there is magic inside of you from potent places. Mainly the plains of purple dust, far to the east. Powerful magic that makes you special. You're just a tool to her, and she will discard you when it becomes beneficial. I hope you believe that.
Yeah, I do. I don't know, you probably weren't watching. I don't even know if I don't keep track of how long Abba's out, but I think I said something like that to Eartha in reverse. She's just a tool to me and I'll quit when I need to. Just the power really helped us quite a few times.
Well, I understand the temptation to eat that egg because it would give you considerable power. To turn into a white dragon from your horribly feeble form would be a gift, no doubt. But I can't help but notice the irony. I am all for killing dragons. I hate what I was. But I was given a second chance, and I gave you a second chance. And you know what might be more powerful than eating that egg? Giving it a second chance. And he kind of claps your leg. And he's like, we should get back to the others and discuss what comes next.
Yeah, maybe we should. I'll get up and walk towards them.
I want to loot the place.
Sure. Make an investigation check while this has been happening.
I want to get as many scales and teeth as I can. Is that with advantage or not?
Just straight roll.
Just a straight roll. Investigation. Oh, I have a good investigation. Unnatural 20.
Unnatural 20, okay. On one of the drow, this is the only magical item you find. On one of the drow, you notice that they're wearing this this very fancy black and purple half cloak. Black on the outside, purple on the inside. Just for the sake of speeding up, it is a cloak of protection, which I believe when you wear it gives you a +1 to your AC, unless I'm mistaken. That's the only magical item. But what did you roll?
Unnatural 20.
Unnatural 20. Okay, I will say you can either do this now or later if you want, or just after we finish the session. You can roll a d6 for each dragon, and that's how many scales you get.
Right, and there's there's two
six
blacks.
Dragons, 2 black, one white, 1 green, 1 red, 1 blue.
I don't want to touch the blue dragon.
Very classic. Yeah, no worries. Is there anything else urgent anyone wants to do, or should we end here? Cool.
I'm happy.
Cool. Okay, so we'll end here and we'll pick up next week.